We've officially made it to the best time of the year, the Texas High School Football Playoffs. 6 straight weeks of win or go home games. Of course, everybody's eyes set on the grand prize of hoisting that state championship trophy up in AT&T Stadium in the third week of December. We welcome you in to the by-district round here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Ashley Pickle alongside Greg Tepper and Ishmael Johnson. Guys, this is what we live for. We are pumped up and we are finally here at the best time of the year.
Pretty good, Pickle. I think it's pretty good. I like the Texas High School Football Playoffs. And it's not just because I like Texas High School football. That is true. Do you realize tonight there are 226 win or go home games scattered across state? Just tonight. That makes tonight the single largest single elimination tournament in the world. Just tonight.
That's a good point.
I mean, like, you think about, like, big tournaments across, like, international tournaments.
Yeah.
They don't have the breadth that Texas High School Football Playoffs have. This is a truly singular sporting event.
Yeah, I mean, it shows, we'll talk a little bit about Thursday night as well, but it shows, based off what we've already seen last night, how much one result, two results can just resonate across the state. And there really is nothing like it. We say that about Texas High School football. We say that about the regular season. Certain games have that feel. By district in particular, because you have the debates of, oh, this team shouldn't make the playoffs, and then we see those teams win, right? And then we see those upsets happen. And then all of a sudden, those debates are all of a sudden lessened when it actually plays out on the field.
Yeah, and what's great about this time of year, too, and I think we're going to get to it in our spotlight games, is you also start to get these cross-regional matchups.
Yeah.
You start to get Austin versus Houston. You start to get Southeast Texas versus East Texas. You start to get, Austin playing DFW. Those types of games. The debates are over.
Yeah.
We mentioned this in the conversation over the weekend while we were all working together. We put out the rankings for Dave Campbell's Texas Football and the Associated Press, and we put out the rankings on Monday, the final Texas High School football rankings. I don't think anybody noticed because, all the debate is over.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be settled on the field. Who we think is the number one team in the state no longer matters a lick. They're going to have to go out there and prove it themselves over the next 6 weeks.
Absolutely. So Dave Campbell's Texas Football, keeping our pulse on all things high school football playoffs. We'll do that all night long. But, of course, we have our 6 spotlight games here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight as we take a look at the games that we're going to be keeping our fingers on the entire time. We take a look at those spotlight games now. Nederland versus Texas High. Louisville taking on Allen. Katy Pato and Fulshire. Tyler Chapel Hill in one of those weird kind of cross-regional matchups you were talking about, Tepper, taking on Huffman Hargrave. Lake Belton in Midlothian, and we round it all out down in the greater Austin area in an absolute banger of a by-district matchup, and that would be Lake Travis and Round Rock. So obviously we have these games going on, and we're at the playoffs. For people that might not be super in-depth Texas high school football fans, but are more of the casual fans, I think it's necessary for us to explain how we got here because every classification is almost different in a way.
This is the time when the casuals start checking in, and to the casuals we say, welcome.
Welcome.
And things are about to get weird, but that's okay. You're one of us now. Let me show you how we got here because I think people may misunderstand how these brackets are put together, and it does vary by classification. We'll start with the largest classification, Class 6A, and how this happens. There's 4 teams there's 4 teams from each district that qualify. District 1 through 32, 4 of them qualify. In each district, you take those 4 teams, and the 2 largest qualifiers by enrollment go to the Division 1 bracket. The 2 smallest qualifiers by enrollment go to the Division 2 bracket. So if you've got 3,000 kids and teams that qualify are 3,000 enrollment, 2,500 enrollment, 2,000 enrollment, and 1,500 enrollment. I'll make those numbers up. The 3,000 and 2,500 schools will go to the Division 1 bracket, and the 2,000 and 1,500 schools will go to the Division 2 bracket. They play 6 rounds in their respective brackets. It all culminates at the state championships at AT&T Stadium on December 21st. What about the other 11 main classifications? 5A, 4A, 3A, and 2A. There, the key difference is that the districts are pre-split into divisions. So you have a 5A Division 1 and a 5A Division 2, a 4A Division 1, a 4A Division 2, etc. There's only 16 districts in each of those classifications, each of those divisions, I should say. Top 4 teams in each district qualify for the playoffs. Those divisions are pre-split, so if you are a 5A Division II team, you go to the 5A Division II bracket. If you're a 2A Division I team, you go to the 2A Division I bracket. 6 rounds, once again, finishing at the state championships at AT&T Stadium in Arlington on that middle week in December, right before Christmas. What about 6-man football? Class 1A. So they're pre-split as well. But they're the top 2 teams in each district qualify. Much smaller districts, usually 4-team districts, maybe 5-team districts. The divisions are pre-split, so 1A Division I goes to the 1A Division I bracket, etc. They only play 5 rounds because, of course, there's fewer teams in the playoffs. That finishes at AT&T Stadium. They will play Wednesday morning and afternoon at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. We will paint the lines and get it going. So that's kind of how it kind of breaks down. That's why if you see us freaking out every other February, is because of UIL realignment. And ultimately, Ish, what UIL realignment does is it charts the path that we're on right now.
Yeah.
And now that helps us shape what the brackets are going to look like. And a lot of the things that we've been freaking out over for the past 9 months are coming to fruition like tonight.
Yeah, it's not just classifications, right? Because that's what everybody talks about when it talks about making the jump, right? Oh, this team's going from 4A to 5A, 5A to 6A, or dropping down to 6A to 5A, and that changes up the landscape as well. But even within that, right, you have the regional moves, right? Because sometimes Region 2 blends to Region 3, sometimes Region 3 blends to Region 2, and so it's typically sometimes Region 1 blends to Region 2, things like that. So realignment, kind of like you mentioned, sets the stage. We talked a lot about the P&G move, right, to a new region. We talked a lot about those teams, and we're seeing that play out. We have one team in one of our spotlight games that was kind of in the midst of that, right? They lose 1 or 2 games. All of a sudden, their path got 10 times harder because of things that we've seen in realignment. So it goes to show you things in February that we were freaking out about. This is why, right? This is the reason why we were saying, oh, this is crazy. How did this happen? Yeah,
like Leander Rouse is playing at Highland Park tonight, okay? That's Austin driving up to DFW. You mentioned Nederland playing Texas High. That is a team that in realignment, when that came out in February, we looked at the way that UIL realigned things and we said, okay, hey, wait a second. They moved this Southeast Texas district over to Region 2. What that means is that they have to go to Texarkana. I want you to go on Google and I want you to Google Nederland to Texarkana. It's like a 4.5 hour, 5 hour drive.
For a first round playoff.
For a first round playoff game. These things matter, and they help chart the path to AT&T Stadium.
Well, and they matter to a whole slew of teams, because we talked about it a little bit earlier on how the argument always comes about at this time of the year of people saying, too many teams make the playoffs. Sorry for giving you free football, okay? Let me show you an example as we take a look at our Thursday play of the night. We'll get to break after this, and we hope you'll stick with us here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. But the top seed, the Blanco Panthers out of District 13, 3A Division II, took on the 4th seed out of District 14 in Van Vleck. Well, a 1 versus 4, you think, okay, this is going to be a blowout. Well, let me introduce you to Wade Hudson and Robert Trotter, who on the very last game-winning drive had this play to let that 4th seed take down the top seed in Blanco. We'll be right with you after the break. Want to talk Texas high school football with your 2 favorite dorks? Join television's Greg Tepper and Ashley Gizmo Pickle every Monday and Thursday at noon on TexasFootball.com. Texas Football Today, the flagship program of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's the same analysis, insight, review, and preview that you've come to know and love. Talking about Texas high school football and college football all across the Lone Star State.
In a college football world that's increasingly nationalized, Dave Campbell's Texas Football presents The Republic of Football, the only comprehensive podcast on all 13 college teams in Texas. Live every Tuesday at noon on the Dave Campbell's YouTube page, Twitter, Facebook pages, and publishing on Apple Podcasts and Spotify shortly thereafter. Host Ishmael Johnson leads the gang in discussing the biggest college football stories from the state. You get coverage of the SEC, Big 12, ACC, AAC, CUSA, and Sunbelt, but with a little Texas twist. No one has their finger on the pulse like senior college writer MC Mike Craven, staff writer Carter Yates, and everyone's favorite Malpal producer Mallory Hartley. Come spend your lunch break, your car ride, or gym session with the Republic of Football. Live on Tuesdays at noon at TexasFootball.com and published everywhere you get your podcast shortly thereafter.
Are you ready to kick off your Wednesdays with a fresh, fun, and fearless take on football? Tune in to Women Talking Football, hosted by the dynamic duo of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, Ashley Pickle, and Mallory Hartley. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m., join us on TexasFootball.com as we deep dive into every corner of the Lone Star State's football scene. From exclusive insights with coaches' wives to on-the-ground reports from across Texas, we've got the inside scoop you won't get anywhere else. Get ready for a game-changing experience where the ladies bring their A-game and you might just find yourself saying WTF in the best way possible. Women Talking Football, where sports analysis meets sass and expertise. You can't miss it.
Want to go deep on Texas high school football? Check out Tep and Step, the premium high school football podcast from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Each week, Greg Tepper and Matt Stepp take you inside Texas high school football like nobody else, breaking down the biggest games and the biggest storylines from all across the state. Want to know more about Texas high school football than the guy at your water cooler? Go to TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber so you can get Tep and Step in your podcast feed. Or tune in every Friday at noon at TexasFootball.com for premium insights from Texas high school football experts Matt Stepp and Greg Tepper.
Welcome back. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight Playoff Edition. It's a special edition. That's why I wore this coat. Welcome in to the palatial studios here at the University of North Texas. So the Texas High School Football Playoffs actually got going last night. The first game of the week was actually, can you turn your computer off, please? The first game of the week was actually in Amarillo as Sunray took down Olton with Matt Stepp in attendance. These highlights are not that. Instead, we're going to the Houston area where Alvin Shadow Creek, fresh off a district championship, was hosting fourth place Fort Bend Elkins. You're probably thinking, why are you showing a 1 versus 4? I bet you can figure it out with your context clues. Let's go to the highlights and find out what happened last night at Freedom Field. First quarter, back to pass at Shadow Creek. It's picked off. Benjamin Villarreal. It's going to rumble 65 yards. He's got 2 sharks on his tail, but he will outrun them to the end zone. Elkins looking for the upset, up 6-0 early. Then Shadow Creek would have a response. Dante Mays, their sophomore quarterback, in for their injured starter, is going to scramble out there, cut it inside, get in for the score. Shadow Creek back on top, 7-6. Still in the first quarter, Elkins goes to work on the ground. They're going to hand the ball up to their sophomore running back, and Tyson Kraft follows his blockers. The burst breaks a tackle, gets in for the score. It's 13-7, Elkins on top. Then more from Elkins. This is Roman Seymour dropping this dime to his receiver in stride. Touchdown Elkins. They're up 20-7. They're up 23-14 in the second quarter, or 23-7. Then Shadow Creek, Dante Mays rolling, firing end zone. Ashton Jones goes up and gets it, closes the gap to 23-14. Then late in the second quarter, it's 23-14 still. Little tunnel screen action. It's Mays to Jones again, weaving his way through the Knights defenders. Gets it for the score. Elkins up 23-21 at a half, but the Sharks are lurking. Fourth quarter, still same score. Shadow Creek looking to strike. Mays steps up, fires. What a grab! Chris Stewart hauls it in and gives Shadow Creek a lead, 28-23 in the fourth quarter. But Elkins would not go away. This time, the handoff. Kraft around the right side, breaks a tackle, has a step, gets in for a go-ahead score, and Elkins takes a 29-28 lead in the final frame. They'll go for 2. Roman Seymour is going to send David Redcross in motion, then throw it to him. It's in. It's 31-28, Elkins on top. Last gasp for Shadow Creek. Remember, the district champion, Devin Mays, quarterback keeper, needs 4, gets stopped 2 yards short, and Elkins pulls off the stunner. 31-28 over Alvin Shadow Creek in 6A Division II play. A remarkable performance from Fort Bend Elkins. and proof that when you get to the playoffs, you really do throw the record books out. And suddenly, every team is dangerous, and every team is capable of ending your season. And what you saw from Elkins was an ability to strike early and hang on late to come up with the biggest upset of the week.
Yeah, for me, it was their sophomore running back, Tyson Kraft, that was the absolute workhorse of this. Obviously, you saw all the big-time highlights he had with those 2 different touchdown runs and his explosive abilities, but what you didn't see as I was sitting there watching that game for a while last night was the consistency that he had to continue to move the ball down the field. He really kind of hopped on our radar earlier this season, and the way that he has continued to develop with a very young-minded team, they're on to something special for the next couple of years. I think they've got some tough roads ahead of them-ish in the playoffs, but you don't complain about taking down a district championship as the 4th seed, point blank.
No. Your goal is to keep playing,
yes.
right? Your goal is that you can extend your season just by one more week. And I want to talk about the job that Trey Grimes has done. This is his 2nd year so far, right? Last year they won 2 games. This is a program that hasn't won more than 2 games since 2019. And they're sitting at now 7-4, right? So they sneak into the playoffs this year, which was already an accomplishment based on what they had. And of course, it's been a quick rebuild by Trey Grimes, but they're setting themselves up now because even if they lose this next week, or if they win, whatever, this is the stepping stone, right? They got the 1 win. Now they can use that for next year and continue to build on this because when you're a coach rebuilding a program that's been struggling like Trey Grimes has with Fort Bend Elkins, you look for those stepping stones, right? This year was getting in, right? Last year you took your lumps. Hey, it is what it is. This year it's getting in. Maybe they didn't expect necessarily win one for first time back in the playoffs, but they did. And so now, okay, that sets up next year regardless of what happens. But you're playing with house money now, too. That's the other thing. Everybody's like, Fort Bend Elkins, you can catch everybody off guard, right? There's no target on your back. You can kind of use that as your motivation going into next week as well. Again, I don't see the problem with a team like this getting into the dance and proving their worth.
You will go out when you're meant to go out, right? And at this point, this is such a huge win for that Fort Bend Elkins ball club. And it's a weird night for District 21 because on one hand, Fort Bend Elkins, who of course was the 4th place team from that district, knocks off a district champion in Shadow Creek. But then in the other match of the Division II bracket, Manville upsets Fort Bend Hightower in the first round of the playoffs. So it is a wild night there for District 21 6A. But I think that if you're Fort Bend Elkins, you survive in advance, they'll play the winner of Clear Springs and Kingwood, and we'll see how that plays out.
All right. Well, there goes one of our games from Thursday night. We'll stay in 6A D2 after the break. We got one more game to show you from our by-district round. But, of course, we got to crown our final regular season Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week. And can I get a drum roll, please?
Not my tempo.
Of the regular season.
Not my tempo.
Come on.
Congratulations to
Boom.
Little Cypress Marysville quarterback Braylon Lewis threw for 213 yards, 2 touchdown passes through the air, 171 on the ground, and added 2 more. Congratulations to Braylon Lewis, our Mr. Texas Football for Week 11. We'll be back after this with our final Thursday recap of the night.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Ozarka will announce 7 Team of the Week winners for 14 weeks of the Texas high school football season from Class 6A down to 6-man and including private schools. Head to TexasFootball.com, go to the Awards tab, and find Ozarka Team of the Week to see this season's winners and vote for your program to be named. Winners are announced every Wednesday on Twitter and Facebook.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Panini America are teaming up this season to honor the best high school quarterbacks across the state of Texas. 7 quarterbacks, 1 in each classification, 1A through 6A in private schools, will be named Quarterback of the Week and will receive a virtual Panini America trading card to commemorate their performance. Check out which outstanding quarterback was selected each Tuesday morning on the Dave Campbell's Twitter and Facebook pages.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
Colleyville's a tremendous place, a community that sets the standard. Ms. Avaye embodies the Panther Nation spirit. You know, she's a former student and now a current teacher, teaching kids how to persevere, work as a team, to grow, and so they'll be great leaders of our community. She's a true Panther through and through.
Texas football tonight. Welcome back to the show. By district, first round of the playoffs, but it's not the first night of the playoffs. We're in the middle of our Thursday recap. Let's stay in the Houston area, and let's also stay in 6AD2. Let's talk about Cy Woods versus Klein Collins, another exciting one down there in Houston area. This one in Region 2, however, instead of Region 3. We talked about those realignments. Let's start here in the first quarter as we go to the highlights right now. Transition. As we see, Kawan gathers on the wheel route for Klein Collins, receiving the ball from Braden Shoggan, beats his man, but still crosses the end zone despite being tackled. 7-0 Klein Collins. This time it's going to be Gathers again up the middle, makes a couple moves, shakes off a man trying to rip the ball out. 38 yards for Gathers right up there. Klein Collins taking control of this game, correct? Wrong. This is going to be Max Terrell on the sneak there to put Cy Woods on the board. 14-7. Klein Collins still holding on though. This one's going to be Braden Shoggan on the 1-yard carry to increase the lead back to 2 scores. Let's get all the way to the third quarter. That was in the third quarter. We're going to stay here in the third quarter. It's going to be Kawan Gathers running, but he's going to fumble it. Jeremiah Jenkins scoops it up for Cy Woods, returns it 64 yards. A game fully in control of Klein Collins. All of a sudden, Cy Woods gets a breath of life. And how about Darian Rogers, the big man? Who wants to tackle him? Quarterback power on the 2-point conversion. As all of a sudden, 23-15 Klein Collins, but on the ensuing kickoff, Tydrick Finley says, this is getting a little too close for me. How about I just weave through right here, beat his man all the way down 95 yards on the ensuing kickoff, 29-15. Klein Collins back and forth. Okay, Cy Woods stopped, but then Klein Collins stopped on their next possession. Artist Canton, how about a picture right here I can draw for you? It goes down the right side. You're weaving across the canvas, down to the left, all the way across the field. Probably ran 95 yards, but it's only going to count for 61 as he makes it a 1-score game again for Cy Woods. Benjamin Pena, Klein Collins couldn't quite punch it in, but he's going to make it a 10-point game with a 30-yard field goal there in the fourth quarter. All right, staying in the fourth quarter, a little bit time off the clock. This is going to be Darian Rogers. Catches the guy jump off side, so he's going to take a free shot. This is going to be Brandon Brown goes up and gets it. 32-29. Cy Woods not going away. A minute 32. Cy Woods is going to get a chance to make this a game, to take the lead, but they need the conversion here on 4th down. Darian Rogers looks. Can he get it? No, it's going to fall. Incomplete. Cy Woods comeback attempt almost complete, but Klein Collins is going to hold on. 32-29. What a game over there in Region 2, 6A D2. Our very own Chris Elliott was on the call. Here he is now.
And we're We're here at Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union Stadium. Chris Elliott for Dave Campbell's Texan Live, and boy, did we see a great round one as Klein Collins comes away with a 32-29 victory over Cy Woods. They had a 17-7 halftime score. They made it a two-score game early in the second half as they picked up a fumble at the Cy Woods 30, capped off that drive with a 1-yard Braden Scoggin quarterback sneak, and Cy Woods fumbled their next play. The next Collins play was a fumble picked up by Jeremiah Jenkins for Cy Woods and returned 76 yards. The ensuing kickoff by the fumbling Klein Collins Tiger, Tydrick Finley, he takes it back 95 yards for a touchdown to go back up 2 scores. The defense has kind of held serve until late. A quasi-Hail Mary from Darian Rogers to Brandon Brown made it a 3-point game. Cy Woods then got the ensuing onside kick, and then they were stalled out, turnover on downs. An exciting round one right here on David Campbell's Texan Live. Klein Collins punches their ticket. They'll play the winner of Westfield and College Park.
All right, thanks, Chris. That's a fun one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, for Klein Collins, it's a really gutty win for them to go on the road to Cy-Fair, to the Berry Center, and take on a good Cy Woods team that was really brimming with confidence coming into this game. I was very impressed with the way that they seem to have a counterpunch every time that they would get socked in the mouth. The other thing to keep in mind here is that now you take a look at District 15 versus 16, right? Bridgeland's playing Klein Oak tonight. They're in a bit of a dogfight right now. I think Tomball is a favorite over Cy Woods or Cy Springs, and Klein Cain's a pretty sizable favorite in my mind over Cy Ranch. There is a world in which District 15 sweeps District 16. And again, this is what we're talking about here as far as strength of schedule is concerned and understanding where these teams are and understanding that when they play one another, you are kind of a product of who you've played. And right now, it's an early win for District 15. Yeah,
they're looking like the district to beat, obviously, but then you want to talk about strength of schedule, you look at all of Region 2 as a whole, and you've got teams like Lancaster, Longview, DeSoto, the two-time reigning state champ. So a long road ahead in Region 2. But I do want to go back for just a second and talk about Cy Woods, because you've got a weapon coming back next year in Darian Rogers. Okay, my guy is built like a deep freeze. Okay, I don't think I have had more fun watching a player play this year other than Vakapuna Faketi at Pflugerville Weiss. He's part of the Dudes Rock banquet. A&M Consolidated, my bad. But anyway, Darius is incredible. Awesome. He's only a junior. He can make the throws. I mean, he's over like 2,200 yards of passing, 28 touchdowns on the year. That was before even last night. This guy is fun to watch, and I think Cy Woods is gonna be able to really make some noise next year.
I think you're right. 5'11", 238 at the QB spot.
Like a Mack truck.
Dude's rock. He's coming to the banquet.
Every time he got out of the pocket, you saw people go, "Oh no!"
Yeah, it's real Doug Brooks energy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's Indiana Jones boulder just going down.
It's like, no!
I'm not going near that.
You get to win. It's a big win for Klein Collins.
Yeah, I do want one more point on the two districts. Right, you mentioned 16 and 15. Here's the combined. So of course, Klein Collins 6-5 now, 5 losses. 8-3 were Cy Woods before they lost last night. Here are the combined losses. Right, these are what you would classify as good losses. The combined loss for both teams: Cy Ranch, Bridgeland, Willis, College Station, Kane. Yeah, those are 5 of the teams that these two teams have lost to. Like, the best of the best are the ones that beat these teams. So that was a slobber knocker of a game last night. That only the best have been able to best those two teams.
Those 5 teams probably that they had lost to probably combined for 42 wins during the regular season.
Right,
like
100%.
Back in the envelope math.
That is not an easy schedule at all. All right, let's stick in District 15 6A. This is a team that unfortunately didn't make it to the playoffs in the Klein Bearcats, but they went out with an absolute bang last week in the Week 11, taking on Magnolia. Here is their incredible 2-point conversion to win by 1. It is our Texas State Technical College Technical Play of the Week. We'll do this one, and then we'll be right back here from break.
Littell throws underneath, pass caught by Strada inside the 10, makes a move with the 5, touchdown, Klein! If Magnolia stops it, they're in the playoffs. If Klein gets it, they go up by 1 with 16 seconds left. Hand off to Kelly, back to Strada, throw to Littell, who's all by himself! Klein takes the lead!
A community leader is somebody that inspires others to do the right thing. A community leader is somebody that inspires you to be better within the community. Duke truly is a treasure for Melissa. He is the most important person in Melissa in that regard. Whatever the case may be, we want to be great. We want to be the best. And Duke is somebody that sparks that. He is one person that exemplifies what love is, and it just spreads throughout the community.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with one student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit TexasFootball.com/mostdriventeam.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wings drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
If you don't love each other, you're not going to pull for each other. That's what makes this community so great. Everybody's pulling for each other, and the love that everybody has for each other, that's what makes this place so special. And that's what makes the people here in Brock the amazing group that they are. Principal Hudson is one of the guys that the entire school district looks up to. He's in and out of every classroom. The teachers absolutely love working for him. If you have a question or anything that you need, he listens. And for us as a community, you know, we love him. But the greatest thing about him, it's the love for Brock. It's the love for the school. It's the love for the kids here. He's a Brock Eagle through and through. If you want to talk about bleeding blue and gold, he bleeds blue and gold.
It's party time in Texas, and that means that it is the Texas High School Football Playoffs. We welcome you back in to Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Happy best time of the year. We're here every single Friday night from 7:30 until about 10, bringing you highlights and reactions and everything all across the Lone Star State. Want to invite you to, if you have not done this, this is the best 6 weeks to do it. Become a Dave Campbell's Texan Live subscriber. Hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of live Texas high school football games on your device every single Thursday, Friday, Saturday, playoff volleyball, Monday, Tuesday. It's everywhere. Go ahead and scan this QR code on your screen. It'll take you to TexanLive.com/subscribe. A very insanely low price of $49.95. It gets you over 1,900 high school sporting events throughout the year. You get the summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine mailed directly to you. You get insider information, insider podcast. It is the best deal in high school sports. It's the best deal in any sports.
Yeah, but it's really expensive though, right?
It can't be.
It's not?
$49.95 for a whole stinking year. We're basically handing this to you. Christmas is coming up. Go ahead and get Christmas shopping out of the way and let them get an extra 6 weeks of their gift, okay?
It's free real estate.
Go ahead and scan that QR code, TexanLive.com/subscribe. All right, enough of me yapping. Let's go ahead and get
Finally,
to...
she said it.
Been waiting a long time.
It's been 12 weeks. I've been waiting for her to say enough of me yapping.
I was going to say 5 years, but how long has she been here?
Sorry, you're saying?
Let's get to the highlights. We're taking you down to the Houston area. Spring taking on Willis. We start off here in the opening drive, and it is Willis quarterback Jack Emerson. He's going to find his receiver Jermaine Bishop, and down the sideline they go. Cameron Johnson for Spring going to take the handoff, and he is going to run right down the sideline, outpaces all the defenders, and is brought down within the 15. Spring would go ahead and settle for 3 on that one. Willis not settling for 3. This is Terry Lawrence. He takes it right back up the middle for that touchdown. Willis threatening once again Jack Emerson. Boom, bang, there it is. Finds Dalen Robinson. 21-3 lead. Willis, they're just pouring it on, my guys. Emerson to Robinson again. They are a machine.
College Station taking on Crosby, 5A Division I action. Kate Corcoran going to find Zach Coster. Make a man miss, make another man miss. Outpace him into the end zone for a touchdown, and College Station takes an early 7-love lead. Then more from College Station, more from Corcoran. This time, he's going to find Wilson Stapp as soon as they're done celebrating that touchdown. He's going to hand it off to Wilson Stapp, who's going to take it in for another touchdown there. Cougars up 14-love. Then more from College Station on the offense. They are rolling, and this time, Corcoran looking, play action, fake it to him, throw it deep. It's Aiden Martinez-Brown in for the score. College Station up 21-7 on Crosby.
District 15 versus District 16, like we mentioned, Klein Oaks, Cypress, Bridgeland. This is going to be Cash Schwab for Bridgeland around the edge. Maximum Bears 30 yards down the sidelines, almost to the 20. The Bears all of a sudden on fire. This is going to be Schwab again, takes it up the middle, but he's going to fumble it. Oh, minimum Bears. Klein Oak comes away with it on the opening drive. All of a sudden, Klein Oak can set the tempo here early, and this is going to be Michael Rhodes breaking tackles, making people miss. Down the field, how far can he get? He gets almost just outside the red zone. But Klein Oak's going to settle for 3. Brisbane quarterback Jet Lewis is going to drop back on the ensuing possession. He's going to find Caden Hines wide open for a touchdown. The game's first there in the second quarter. Staying in the second quarter, Klein Oak wide receiver Cortland Guillory takes the direct snap and gets a burst of speed down the right, outruns the whole defense. Klein Oak recaptures the lead. On the ensuing possession, again, this is going to be Spence Myers, with a ton of room down the right sideline, gets near the 10-yard line, just inside. Later on the drive, this is going to be Jet Lewis again, finishing it again, finding Caden Hines for his second touchdown of the half. Bridgeland going up into the half.
Makes for Bridgeland, the biggest thing they have to do, and I've said this for years, they have to shift it in the maximum Bears this time of year. So they for a lot of the year, that program will shift it into whatever gear they need to. But here in the playoffs, and I think you agree, we've talked about this at length in private, the playoffs are the time to shift it in the maximum Bears.
Full throttle, no minimum Bears. Yeah. Full throttle, shift it.
I wouldn't even do medium Bears.
No, there's no medium Bears.
No mid Bears.
Yeah, no. Maximum Bears.
We have to shift it into maximum
Full throttle.
Bears.
And the most fun part of all of this is watching all of these games, knowing for a fact that these are win or go home, which means that usually this is really fun, but this is about to be extra super duper fun.
Can we watch one game?
How about 2?
Oh.
3?
Maybe. What?
Let's go to the playoff edition of the Quad Box.
We're quad boxing it.
Games.
Quad boxing, win or go home games as Huffman Hargrave airs it out and is not able to get it there. Nederland and Texas High, Lake Travis, Round Rock, and Lake Belton and Midlothian. Holy Texas High.
Yeah, Texas high school football is back, baby. And
Texas High School
Texas High is back. And it looks like Lake Belton just picked up a fumble or some sort of turnover. Okay. So we'll go through these real quick. You got Nederland, Texas High in the top left. You got Chapel Hill, Huffman Hargrave in the top right. Bottom left, it looks like Lake Travis going to kneel out the first half against Round Rock. up 24-7, and then Lake Belton and Midlothian just cut the brakes as Texas High off to a roll. Okay, so let's talk about Nederland and Texas High if we can zoom in there. This team was my pick to win the region. It's Texas High in Region 2, 5A Division 2, Region 2. Now, this is the region that has both the team that won the 2023 state championship in Port Neches Groves and the team that won the 2022 and 2021 state championships in South Oak Cliff. I am here to tell you I think Texas High has the juice. And I think what you're seeing tonight, I mentioned this to you guys before we came on. Texas High, or Nederland has a win over PNG.
Yes.
I think Texas High saw tonight as an opportunity to send a message across the entirety of Region 2 and say, oh, this is your king? Is this your king? Because we are here.
Is there a team having a worse time since their biggest win of the season than Nederland?
David Potter.
They went from kings of the world, front runners for the district championship after beating PNG in the Mid-County Madness, to fourth in 3 weeks. Of course, losing to Huntsville, which we all looked at that Huntsville loss and we're like, okay, this makes things interesting. Makes Montgomery a little bit of a nerve-wracking game. Then they lose to Montgomery, handing the district championship back to PNG, and then getting sent, like you mentioned, to one of the region favorites in Texas High and Tredarian Ball. I'm sorry.
When it rains, it pours.
When it rains, it pours. Yes, again, like I mentioned, 2 weeks ago, this team was a front runner in that district, and now it is 35-7, looking to be 42-7 potentially as they go to the end zone here.
Oh, David Potter was out there running to get a flag.
That was
there.
probably a push-off.
They're looking for Tredarian Ball there on the catch. He's number 3.
Well, and you take a look at Region 2 as a whole. So obviously the winner of this one going on to play the winner of Crandall and Dallas Wilson. I have I have a feeling Texas High is going to pull this one out.
Wow,
but
bold.
They should likely
I like Crandall,
be the favorite.
by the way, against Wilson.
Yeah, I think they should be the favorite there. And then you're looking at likely either a rematch between Nederland and Port Neches Groves or Port Neches Groves, Port Neches Groves and Texas High. That, my friends, that one's a fun matchup. Then going to likely play South Oak Cliff in the regional finals.
Oh,
we know that guy.
France.
Bill.
Yeah, it's our friend Bill from Tasso. He's a good official. They're all good officials, by the way.
No, he's one of the only ones apparently.
Yeah, apparently. He's not
this just in.
Yeah. But I'll just tell you, this is a Texas High team that looks like they're going to take a timeout here. This is a Texas High team that I think is ready for prime time. The only thing that gave me pause about Texas High picking them to win the region is 2 things. 1, their defense can be hit and miss.
Sure.
And 2, they have laid some eggs in the playoffs. There, we'll matriculate to Huffman Hargrave and Chapel Hill.
I was going to say
Huffman
on that
rolling,
note,
firing touchdown, Huffman Hargrave.
As we see to wrap up the Texas High bit, that was amazing.
I wish we would have had that on camera.
Yeah, I know,
that
right?
was some intense head movement.
I'll say this about Texas High: the strength of schedule is leaves a little bit to be desired. That's what I was curious about heading into this game, because this is showing me a lot, obviously. But you look at this outside of, I have no idea what to think of the Fayetteville team from Arkansas, right? So there's one. But outside of them, Marshall is by far the best team they've played, and they beat them by 1. So Marshall's been a good team this year. But that's why this performance against Nederland was so impressive to me, because Nederland's probably going to be the second best team they've played all year.
That's fair enough. But I think that what they're doing is they're showing their mettle.
Yes.
Because the thing that they've been able to do is absolutely romp teams. You see Huffman Hargrave up now 14-7 on Chapel Hill. This is an interesting ball game. So Huffman Hargrave is the second highest scoring team in 4A Division 1 entering the playoffs, averaging more than 50.8 points per game. And one of the things that for Chapel Hill, they got caught in a situation where they've been really banged up. Ricky Stewart and Demetrius Brisbane, their stars, have been hurt.
Yeah.
And as a result, they ended up finishing 3rd in their district. They have to go on the road to a good Huffman Hargrave ball club. Did they finish 4th? I think maybe they finished 4th in their district.
I think
They have to go on the road to a good Huffman Hargrave. Yeah. This is a team that started top 5, played for a state championship last year. Now, how healthy are they? Do they have the juice to get back there? there, and as they're struggling right now to find that offensive consistency there in the second quarter down there at Huffman-Hargrave.
Well, and I think that Nolan Cook has really had a good season so far for Hargrave, but for me, it's been Sawyer Jamison. Their running back has been just lethal and really giving them that more two-dimensional, because I think a lot of times with Hargrave, you've seen offensives that are more that one-dimensional, but the dynamic duo of those two have really spread the ball out and made them dangerous on the offensive side.
I think you got to let Nolan cook.
Okay,
that was 6 out of 10. That was fine.
That was fine.
That was fine. Anyway, looking
If
about
you
Chapel
enjoyed that, my Venmo is Greg-Tepper.
A little bit more about Chapel Hill. This is
Or you can just subscribe to Texan Live and give your money there.
This is a team that played for a state championship last year, right? Everybody talked, including us, talked a lot about this team heading into this year with the dynamic duo of Demetrius Brisbane and Ricky Stewart. Of course, Brisbane has not played a lot of this year. It's been Malik G who's come in, Malik G Jr., who's done fine. But I think the bigger issue is, one, Ricky Stewart obviously has not been healthy the whole year. His status, I believe, heading into tonight was also questionable. And also, I think we saw last year how somebody like, I believe Cameron Kelly was his name, the wide receiver last year. They, even when Ricky Stewart was healthy, and even when Brisbane was playing earlier this year, when he was healthy, they haven't had that knock you over the head deep ball like they had to Cameron Kelly last year.
Oh, what a grab!
Oh, that was an insane catch. And the jaw in the face. Oh, my goodness.
Texas High.
Yeah, we're
put it on them.
We're in beat 'em down territory now. I believe that was Cameron Reitner, one of their leading receivers. I believe they're statistically their leading receiver.
Cameron Reitner climbs the ladder.
Yeah,
and by the way,
touchdown catch at the,
by the way, also just a junior. Quarterback David Potter is a senior, but Tredarian Ball and Cameron Reitner, both juniors.
Oh my goodness,
lethal. And Texas High doing anything they want right now.
This is like you mentioned, this is a statement game, a statement performance, which is why I don't think we will see the foot get let off the gas in maybe until late in the third quarter.
if you're Jeff Joseph and P&G right now, you're going, okay, guys, we got to buckle in. Because it's one thing to say, hey, this is a team you let beat you.
Yeah.
Not only are we looking at that, now they're out here just curb stomping them.
Yeah, they're, like you mentioned, they are sending a message. It is a breakout performance. Because like you mentioned, Tepper, they've been a team that's let down a lot in the playoffs. And we kind of see them with Tredarian Ball. We see, I believe that is Malik G at quarterback, trying to make something happen there with his legs. He's done a solid job for Chapel Hill. He's been thrust into a very awkward position because obviously Demetrius Brisbane is a future D1 player, and when you're asked to replace that midway through the year, it's kind of hard. As we see Ricky Stewart, who answers that question about his status.
Tackle.
And he gets in the end zone. Okay, back to a tie game.
Chapel Hill, they've got Ricky Stewart. I don't know if he's 100%. I don't want to speculate here.
I was literally just to say, if he's 100%, they can win this game. And then it was like, okay, maybe
it's slow to get up.
Maybe if he's 50%, they can still crunch out.
If he can do that on 50%, they might still win.
Yeah, they might still win. But it's a big response there from Chapel Hill there on the road at Huffman-Hargrave. Extra point pending here to knot this bad boy up. And, look, the one thing I'll say about this, obviously they played for a state championship last year. Chapel Hill has been in big games.
Yeah.
Okay? For Huffman-Hargrave, a lot of this is new. And so can that play a decisive factor in a ball game like this?
Yeah.
All right. As we are taking a look around the state at some game action going on, why don't we get you up to date to some scores happening across the state as well? We start off in the smallest classification in the UIL. It is 1A Division II. You can scan the QR code at the top right there. It'll take you to texasfootball.com/scores. And the big eye-popping ones here is Sands and Whit Harrell. Only a 6-point game, Tepper.
Yeah, close game there. It's really interesting. This is a Whit Harrell team that has been up and down, but I believe they are, they're probably your favorite in this ballgame. It's a tricky Sands team. Richland Springs Calvert did not finish 1-0. That game's a forfeit. Calvert did not have enough eligible players to field the team. And so Richland Springs advances. They are careening towards Richland Springs advances to play Zephyr, who beat Evant last night. Shout out to the Alex Americas team. But so it'll be Zephyr and Richland Springs next week. Cherokee is through to the next round. They will play Oglesby, who beats Blanket tonight. We could be heading for Oglesby, Richland Springs. Although I'll tell you, If you get Richland Springs and Cherokee, that's a big-time rivalry game as well. Although Benjamin keeps on rolling. You remember we talked about this last week. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Benjamin and Aspermont decided where they were playing their playoff game based on the score of the Texas Tech-Colorado game.
Yeah.
Basically, Benjamin would host the game if it was an odd number of points scored, and Aspermont would host the game if it was an even number of points scored in the game. It's basically a way to do a coin flip without being in the same room.
Right.
Aspermont won that. They got to host.
It's pretty good.
Benjamin gets the win tonight.
That's
the
pretty
two-time defending state champs is still alive. Let's go to 1A Division I. Scan that QR code at textfootball.com/scores. Whiteface in a dogfight with Rankin tonight. That's an undefeated Whiteface team, my favorite to win Region 1. Keep an eye on that ball game. Gordon all over May in what was the game of the night. That is a top 10 matchup in the state in the first round of the playoffs. Big time doings there. St. Joe and Avalon going at it. St. Joe is the second seed in this district because they lost they got upset by Union Hill in week 11. Avalon is undefeated right now with Malcolm Cole at the helm. Interesting ball game there. Borden County has been back and forth with Buena Vista all week long, or all game long. That game down there in Region 1. The winner of that game will get the winner of Happy and El Dorado. Still waiting for a result there. And Westbrook, a team no stranger to deep runs, is up on Robert Lee at the moment.
All right, so there's your score update. Let's go ahead and get into more highlights across the state. We start you off in the greater Houston area. Katy taking on A-Leaf Elsick. We start you off here in the first quarter. Katy is going to put John Stevens in motion, and the handoff goes to running back Tremaine Hill as he dives in. 7-0 Katy. Then it's Elsick with the ball. Caden Mandahall is going to get lined up here. And boom, we've got him across the line. We're at a 7-7 tie. All right, Elsick back with the ball. You see Katy tacked on another score there. Caden Mendenhall, he's going to look. He's going to drop it off, and it's Sean Ward. He shakes the defensive back, and down the sideline he goes. Gets taken down there. Katy is going to find the hole up the middle of the defense, and no one can stop a rushing attack like that. Katy back up on top. That puts them up 14-7. Then Katy is going to go ahead and solidify it. That one there. The Gary Joseph train is running.
Summer Creek taking on Clear Falls. This is Aaron Alexander plunging in for an early touchdown. Summer Creek takes an early 7-0 lead. Then more as Benny Easter Jr. gets in for a Bulldogs touchdown, makes it 14-0. Then Blake Thomas gets on the act, looking under pressure, decides to take it himself, make a man miss, whoop, in for the score, 21-0 Summer Creek. And then Blake Thomas again, this time taking the snap, will escape the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, decide to take it himself. Another house call for Summer Creek. They're all over Clear Falls tonight, 28-0.
How about Fort Bend Travis and Pearland? This is going to be Tate Chisholm up the middle. He's going to fight it off to put the Oilers on the board early. Jake Westmoreland right there back to pass. He's going to throw a bomb deep to Jordan Hernandez, wide open. Almost turned his man all the way around. 14-0 Pearland. And then why not one more time? Tate Chisholm in the I formation, handoff up the middle. All Oilers in this one. 21-0 Pearland.
All right, so there we go. Some highlights across the state, and it sounds like we're getting breaking news happening here. There is a really big game happening down in the San Antonio area as the top seed from District 13, 3A Division 1, the Llano Yellow Jackets are taking on the Javelinas of Crystal City as we welcome in with his Texan Live representation, Lance Pickle, our Llano Yellow Jacket insider. Lance, it seems like the Yellow Jackets have the lead so far, 27-7. What are you seeing out of Coach Matt Green's squad?
Hey, guys, we're down here in the 2-1-0. It is being called, what I'm told, the by-district game of the century, as far as I know. And both of these teams came out ready to play. Both lines of scrimmage, the defenses were controlling the game. Crystal City started off with an interception on their first defensive series, resulted in a punt down to the 1-yard line. And then from there, it kind of turned into the Trey Moat show. The running back from Llano went 99 yards to score Llano's first touchdown. Crystal City did a great job responding. They had a 61-yard drive that resulted in a scramble by quarterback Christopher Morena to tie the game up. And then from there, Llano was able to start running a little tempo, start getting a little bit more movement on the offense. And Luke Davis, the Llano quarterback, finished that first half with 3 TD passes. Trey Moat, in addition to the 99-yard rushing touchdown, also had another 81-yard reception on a screen pass that he took for a touchdown. And I've checked with the head statistician on this game, Ashley Pickle, and I believe Trey Moat's probably over 250 yards already in the first half.
Lance, Greg Tepper, Dave Campbell's Texas Football. First of all, I want to thank you for your courageous reporting here. This is a Crystal City team that goes out there and has been kind of hung their hat on their defense, and yet you've seen Llano have some success offensively. What are you seeing that's working for the Yellow Jackets consistently?
You know, it really changed when Llano started running tempo. Crystal City was doing a great job controlling the line of scrimmage, making it really hard on the Llano offense. But starting in that second quarter, Llano was able to get a little bit more momentum going. They were able to start pushing a little bit, and that's what seemed like playing the game. And then it's led to a 27-7 halftime lead for the Jackets.
Lance, you know, you always battle for first and second in terms of my Pickle power rankings. I believe the camera person is typically the one who kind of holds the number 1 slot in a lot of people's minds. But, you know, I'm sitting next to somebody who kind of trying to work their way up from probably like 4-ish over here in Ashley. Do you have any advice for how she can climb her way up through the Pickle rankings? Because it's pretty ironclad there at the top.
I think the backwards hat with the Texan Live sticker on it is going to be the key for her moving up in those rankings. That'd be my analysis of that situation.
And finally, Lance, I want to make sure we get you back to the game for more of your heroic reporting, but I want to ask you, first of all, yesterday you might have known a solemn day, National Pickle Day. I would like to know how you celebrated the National Pickle Day.
It was all about thinking about Chicken Pickle and representing for her on that national day that really pretty much honors her.
There he is. He's Lance Pickle, our Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight Llano insider. Dad, thank you.
Dad?
Thank you for repping the brand.
This is a Nepo
tell
hire?
our chief statistician, Trisha Pickle, I said hello, and sting him, baby.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good show.
There he is. It's our chief Llano insider. Hey, your chief NFL insider is your mom.
That's different.
That is different. It's very different.
We appreciate LP hopping on with us. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We'll be here right after the break to dive into more live high school football playoff action happening across the state. We'll see you soon.
I'm disgusted with you.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Ozarka will announce 7 Team of the Week winners for 14 weeks of the Texas high school football season from Class 6A down to 6-man, and including private schools. Head to TexasFootball.com, go to the Awards tab, and find Ozarka Team of the Week to see this season's winners and vote for your program to be named. Winners are announced every Wednesday on Twitter and Facebook.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Panini America are teaming up this season to honor the best high school quarterbacks across the state of Texas. 7 quarterbacks, 1 in each classification, 1A through 6A in private schools, will be named Quarterback of the Week and will receive a virtual Panini America trading card to commemorate their performance. Check out which outstanding quarterback was selected each Tuesday morning on the Dave Campbell's Twitter and Facebook pages.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
Colleyville's a tremendous place, a community that sets the standard. Ms. Avaye embodies the Panther Nation spirit. You know, she's a former student and now a current teacher, teaching kids how to persevere, work as a team, to grow, and so they'll be great leaders of our community. She's a true Panther through and through.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. It's a show about football in the state of Texas. And boy, did you pick a good time to tune in, because the Texas high school football playoffs are here. I'm Greg. It's Ashley and Ishmael. We're talking football in the state of Texas. There are playoff games going all across the state. Let's check out some scores across the state of Texas. You can check out texasfootball.com/scores for all things football across the Lone Star State, and download the Football Friday app, and we will get you those scores up to date on your Palm Pilots. Let's check out 2A Division II scores first and see what's popping across there. Groover, I believe the only undefeated team in 2A Division II, looking to remain undefeated.
My regional pick.
There you go. Mount Enterprise, all over Deweyville. Kagan Ash back for them, and you can tell. Goldthwaite, who's coming off of that big upset win over Mart, they are up on Maud. Mart, little bounce back here, up on Cumbie, 44-12. Ira Ann up on Seagraves, and Somerville up 31-0 on Dehennis. We watched the Dehennis game last week. Remember?
We did. We found a stream as we were wrapping up our prep for the playoff review.
That's right. Dehennis squeaked in with their win last week, but they are being greeted rudely by the Yeguas of Somerville. Yegua, Spanish for horse. Scan that QR code there, texasfootball.com/scores. Tioga's up on Ballinger in 2A Division I action. Honeygrove, a big sexy pick at texasfootball.com to win Region 2. They are, Region 3 rather, they are up on Elysian Fields. Panhandle all over New Home tonight in a game that I believe Matt Stepp is at. Cooper up on Big Sandy. Hamilton looking to remain unbeaten with a win over Whitewright. And Marlin up on Holland. That's a sneaky Marlin team keeping on the Bulldogs. They're not the Marlins, or even like the Marlin
That one wouldn't make sense because they're nowhere down by the coast.
What about like the Marlin Swordfish?
That could work. Again, not by the coast.
Okay, but do you eat Llano's not near the coast, right?
Yeah.
But you've eaten seafood in Llano, correct?
No.
I was about to say I wouldn't trust seafood. No offense.
I don't think we have seafood in Llano. Anyway, you know what we do have, though, because you can have it anywhere in the world, a subscription to Dave Campbell's Texan Live. That's right. Go ahead and scan this QR code. That'll take you to texanlive.com/subscribe, and you can watch hundreds of live Texas high school football games for the next 6 weeks, up until the state championships being held at Jerry World there in Arlington. Scan that QR code, texanlive.com/subscribe. As we dive back into game action here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, playoffs abound as we check in on Louisville and Allen, and back in at an all tied up Chapel Hill and Huffman Hargrave.
I think Allen Louisville's a sneaky game because for Allen, I've declared them capital B back.
Sure.
But this is a really high variance Louisville team. The ceiling is super high, and the floor is pretty low. But the thing about them is that we know they can match up front.
Yes.
Because they got Michael Fasusi leading the offensive line. They're going to give up
the
pressure there. But they've got the playmakers, and right now they're hanging in against Allen. We will see if they're able to come up with the plays necessary down the stretch.
Louisville's they're kind of a team that's, I would classify them right now as like a team that I would have had as like a year away, quote. Right, there's a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors. I believe Trey Williams is a sophomore, or he's coming back regardless of what I'm trying to say. But also their losses on the year, Coppell, Rockwall, Byron Nelson.
Yep.
Not the worst losses, right?
No.
Of course, we've talked
Not
about
a bad loss in the bunch.
We've talked about that tough district that, of course, Coppell ended up winning. But as we see,
Across
a
the middle.
nice slow, way to recover and get that quick pass over the middle. This Louisville team, yeah, you mentioned it. Allen is, I would say, capital B back, but similarly to Texas High, I had questions about the schedule they played, right?
Yep.
At the time, you probably had teams like Cedar Hill is like, oh, it's a good win. But looking back, you're like, okay, not as what we've known them to be, obviously. But the Prosper win, I think, is the one they can hang their hat on, right? The Prosper win, that was a pretty convincing win from Allen. But other than that, it was like, okay, we've seen Allen struggle recently, but Lee Wigginton seems to have righted the ship more now in year number 2.
Well, I think the big thing for me last year specifically was we found a lot of fault in their defensive backs. We found a lot of fault in the defense as a whole. It was like the defense wasn't necessarily good enough to stop anybody. So by the time the offense was on the field so much, it was hard for them to really keep a consistent thing going. And this year, to me, it's been the defense. I mean, the most points that they've given up in a game was 21 to both Princeton and to Plano. Both of those teams plenty able to score. But I think this defense has really, really come through under Lee Wigginton.
Yeah, I think so too. As he's that's sophomore to sophomore there, as Trey Williams fires it out there to DJ Martin for a gain to bring up third and about 4 here. But yeah, I think that you're right. The Allen defense is really taking a step. I need to see what happens when their offense is like held in check, though.
Sure.
Because this is the kind of thing. Like, look, if they're going to win Region 1. Trey Williams under pressure. So we got that to hold anyway. But yeah. And so they'll probably sell for a field goal here. The thing about Allen is that they're in Region 1. They will have to deal with, at some point, a team like potentially Coppell.
Yep.
Although they're down tonight to Prosper. Or they have to deal with certainly North Crowley at some point. North Crowley feels like the big problem area there. And I'm just not certain that as much as I like this Allen defense, I am not certain that their offense has the juice to keep up and go score for score with them.
Yeah, I think Brady Bricker's done a good job. I think last year, of course, you lose Michael Hawkins heading into last season. All of a sudden, you're like, who's taking over at quarterback? That kid's probably thrust into the limelight. And Brady Brickers, I think, has been consistent. Looks like they'll get a field goal here, so it's a 1-touchdown game. Brady Bricker's done a solid job, right? 19 touchdowns, only 4 picks. But I think the emergence of Jaden Hambrick at running back has kind of been recently has been their big thing. He has averaging about 9 yards a carry, 600 yards, kind of a late burst from him. Had a couple, I believe, like an 80 or 90-yard touchdown a couple weeks ago. He's been somebody, they've kind of leaned more on the running game as of late to not necessarily put things on Brady Bricker's back. But to your point, if Louisville gets more of these type of possessions where they maybe punch one in or punch a couple in, then you're asking that offense and Brady Bricker maybe to open up a little bit, right? And are they able to do that because they've been able to play from ahead, control games with this defense that's been so improved this year?
So there we go. As this game continues on, we're going to check into another one as we head down to Central Texas. It's Lake Belton and Midlothian going head-to-head. And it's our guys, Russell and Jawar. Guys, welcome back on to Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. Excited to have you. This one, an incredibly close game, 23-21 at halftime. It looks like actually we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here, so we'll get them on in just a second.
It's a fascinating ball game down there, simply because, obviously the scores evenly match and high scoring. There's already been more than 500 yards of total offense in this game. And for Midlothian, they've done a lot of the danger. They've been very dangerous on the ground, but they've had a couple of big pass plays. Bo Wendell is only 2 of 6 for 119 yards and a score. Okay, large bills only for Bo Wendell.
That is true. All right, and it looks like we've got him back on. So, guys, go ahead and tell us from your perspective what has been so evenly matched this game.
Man, so far, Pickle, it's been the Davion Peters show here for the Lake Belton Broncos. 3 rushing touchdowns. They went down 21-10 after Bo Wendell hit a big 81-yard touchdown to Brendan Jackson, the freshman. And so they kind of traded big plays back and forth, but Lake Belton hanging in there at the end and coming back and almost getting a touchdown right at the end of the half on a weird onside kick.
Meanwhile, on the Midlothian side, this is a team that has not been able to throw the ball consistently on the offensive side, but they have hit a couple big plays. Have you seen enough from the running game that that you think gives them enough offensive firepower that can make up for maybe a passing game that's not on its game tonight?
Yes, we have. I mean, they've been giving everyone a chance to run the ball, and the quarterback, when he takes off, I mean, he just goes north and south, and he's running hard tonight. So, yeah, they've been really just giving guys opportunities to go out there and make plays tonight. Playoff game, you got to leave it all on the field tonight.
Russell and Jay, appreciate y'all hopping on. Go enjoy the second half of that one, and I think they hit the nail on the head. Davion Peters was kind of the big question coming into this year. Could he step up into that role that Micah Hudson was? And if you're going to do that, this is the time of year when that matters the most. Yep.
No, he's a star. He's a star, and he's coming up big. 3 rushing touchdowns. He got, I believe, 6 catches on the. They're making the entire plane. Davion Peters tonight, and why not? He has been absolutely exceptional for them all year long.
And for me, it's bigger because the status of Eli Mascarenas, the quarterback for Lake Belton, was a big question. I believe Maverick Maddox has been playing in this game. He was knocked out, I think, 2 weeks ago, Mascarenas was. And that's their senior quarterback, right? That was the guy that was throwing to Micah Hudson, right?
Yeah.
And when you lose that senior quarterback, okay, that takes your offense, I don't want to say demoralizes it, but it takes a big key out of what Brian Cope was probably depending on this year, right? And Maverick Maddox has been pretty good, but I think having Davion Peters to lean on and kind of usher him into that starting role has been a huge benefit for this Broncos team.
We are here on Dave Campbell's Texas football tonight. We're going to go ahead and not take a quick break. You know why? Because we've got big plays happening all across the state.
Checking out what's happening with Chapel Hill and Huffman Hargrave.
Yeah, let's go to it.
Let's check it out. As we see, this is going to be, I believe that is Malik G.
That's Malik G.
Malik G. Jr., the backup quarterback, doing work.
Getting down inside the 1. Going quickly here.
Punch it in, use that tempo. Under center, that's something you don't usually see from this. Tush push up the middle. Okay, I believe that's the first lead of the game.
That was a very well-run hurry up right there. I mean, that was done to perfection. They didn't give that defense any time to line up.
That feels like the kind of thing that's coached where it's like, guys, if we have the ball and it's like not 4th down,
tush push
on the like at the 1-yard line, just line up and go.
Yes,
like automatic and stuff like that. And everybody knew what was going on. We take a look at Lake Belton. Midlothian just kicked off there at the second half, and Midlothian. Taking it back.
Oh,
big
my goodness.
No.
Oh, the cut.
Oh,
go, Big.
All the way in.
Goodness.
Wow, what a cut back in on like the 40.
It's the freshman Brendan Jackson.
The freshman. That's a way to make your way into the team. Oh, my gosh.
What a play.
That move to make the 2 defenders collide with each other was nasty.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Looked like bowling pins out there.
What a way to start the half for Midlothian.
They're going wild there at Midlothian ISD Stadium.
Well, not that shot, because that looks like that's the Lake Belton band.
Well, okay. The Lake Belton band is nonplussed by that touchdown for Midlothian. Meanwhile, bouncing back up to Allen Eagle Stadium, where the Allen Eagles clinging to a 10-3 lead here there at Allen Eagle. So, it's not long ago that they were literally unbeatable at home.
Yeah.
They were literally unbeatable at Allen Eagle Stadium. Looking to get some of that kind of
there's Brady Bricker taking the ball.
Yeah, trying to get a little bit of that mystique back. Feels like that mystique is kind of past couple of years maybe lost a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But they're trying to get that back certainly, and a win here over a good Louisville team would certainly help with that.
All right, so we're going to let this one continue to play as the Allen Eagles have the ball.
Wow.
Looks like they were able to recover.
That could have been devastating.
That one. All right, they're going to catch their breath, and we're going to pivot to northeast, if you will, from Allen Eagle Stadium up to Texarkana we go. It was the man that's been driving like a fool all day today, our very own Gavin Moritz, up there for Texas High taking on Nederland. Lost it there for a second. Gavin, oh my goodness, 42-7. Texas High is on an absolute rampage right now. I mean, what can you say about the way that they came out of the gates?
I'll tell you guys this. Texas High's got a lot of speed that I don't think Nederland's really had an answer for so far. Their quarterback, David J. Potter, he's been tremendous. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, 2 to Cameron Reitner, 2 to the Oregon commit, Tredarian Ball, the junior. There was one play where Potter, I mean, I'm sure you guys saw it, looked like he dropped it out of the helicopter to Tredarian Ball. It was a perfect throw. And then the SFA commit, Javari Johnson, ran for one as well. And Texas High has been a well-oiled machine.
Greg, from work, I want to ask a little bit about the other side of the ball, this Texas High defense. For all the accolades that the offense gets, one of the questions we've had coming into the playoffs was their defensive performance. But I mean, look, 7 points to 7 points. They got to be doing something right defensively.
Right, and they've tackled well. They've bottled up Hubert Thomas, who's been Nederland's main option in the running game. Aiden Sunday hasn't tried or had to do a whole lot. There was one drive where Nederland went for it twice on 4th down, and they ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive with Hubert Thomas. So if you take away one of those 4th down conversions, this is a 42-0 or maybe worse ball game. So I think Texas High's defense has played tremendous, and they should have a 0 on the scoreboard for the Texas High defense, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah, Gavin, look, from me, we've talked a lot about Nederland and kind of the downtrend they've been on since that Mid-County Madness win, of course, falling to the number 4 seed. Was this a team that kind of just came out looking, unfortunately, like a team that had been a little bit on a downswing? Because we were worried, obviously, drawing this team in the first round after the high they had a couple weeks ago. I was kind of worried about this exact thing, that they were trending down, Texas High was trending up. Did it just seem like a team that kind of came out a little bit lethargic?
Well, I mean, Ish, I talked to Scott Rich pregame. He said, of course, our seniors would have liked to have played that last, game at home, that, of course, that first playoff game at home, but it didn't work out that way. He said he thought it would fire the team up, and they have kind of come out flat. And I think, in week 9, they went to P&G, they went to the reservation, they beat them in Mid-County Madness, they beat their arch rival, and that was really like the last almost positive thing they've had go right for them. They lost to Huntsville, and then they lost to Montgomery in overtime last week. And right now they're down 35. So I think it just kind of, I don't want to say they played too much into the P&G game, but since then, I mean, there hasn't been much. They've lost their last 2 games since then, and then they're down 35 tonight. So I think it just has been kind of a downward spiral, like you said.
He's Gavin Moritz, the man that is driving all over the state. Gavin,
Bye,
get home
Gavin.
safe tonight, bud. Enjoy talking to you as always. All right, so there we go. We'll round out that one. We're going to take a quick break, but hope you will stick with us here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Playoff action abound. We'll see you after the break.
A community leader is somebody that inspires others to do the right thing. A community leader is somebody that inspires you to be better within the community. Duke truly is a treasure for Melissa. He is the most important person in Melissa in that regard. Whatever the case may be, we want to be great. We want to be the best. And Duke is somebody that sparks that. He is one person that exemplifies what love is, and it just spreads throughout the community.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with one student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit texasfootball.com/most-driven-team.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wing's drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
If you don't love each other, you're not going to pull for each other. That's what makes this community so great. Everybody's pulling for each other, and the love that everybody has for each other, that's what makes this place so special. And that's what makes the people here in Brock the amazing group that they are. Principal Hudson is one of the guys that the entire school district looks up to. He's in and out of every classroom. The teachers absolutely love working for him. If you have a question or anything that you need, he listens. And for us as a community, we love him. But the greatest thing about him, it's the love for Brock. It's the love for the school. It's the love for the kids here. He's a Brock Eagle through and through. If you want to talk about bleeding blue and gold, he bleeds blue and gold.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, the only show that has the courage to ask the question, Texas high school football, is it good or is it really good? We'll answer that question over the next hour or so until the internet goes out here at the beautiful North Texas studios. We're following games all across the state in the first round of the Texas high school football playoffs. One of them, big game we had our eye on, down there in Galveston County, as a 9-1 state-ranked Atascocita squad had to go on the road to take on a tricky Dickinson team. Let's go down to the highlights there in Galveston County, see if those Gators can come up with a big bite of Atascocita Eagles. Boo. To the highlights we go. They pay me for this. Atascocita quarterback Carde Mack, what a playmaker. It's the return of the Mack. Cuts through the teeth of the defense, in for the score, and Atascocita draws first blood. Now, next drive for Atascocita, Mack keeps it on the zone read keeper, and he will take it all the way to the crib for his second touchdown of the night. He's been so good for them. They are up 14-0. But Dickinson would have a response. Joshua Arthur, take it, play action, going to fire to Mason Peterson down the seam to cut the lead to 14-7. Then Atascocita, it's Mack again. Bouncing it outside, makes a man miss, cuts it inside, in for the score. Another touchdown, 21-7 Atascocita. Following a kick return touchdown and a stop for Dickinson, Malachi Gamble walks in for a touchdown. We're knotted up at 21, right? Well, extra point missed, so it's 21-20. Atascocita, the Mack attack is back. Jack takes it up the middle, gone. Another rushing touchdown. Atascocita led at the half, 35-20.
Going over to Westside Stratford. Quarterback Aaron DeLeon is going to hand off the ball to Hunter Beal, who gets in the corner pocket of the end zone right there. Puts them up early. That was Stratford. Then Stratford again with the ball. It's Anderson Din, who's going to take it up to the opposite end of the end zone and in for another 6 extra point good after that. All Stratford. Javier Denson runs through the chaos right up the middle and gets all the way in. Stratford taking a very early lead there on Houston West Side. All right, more playoff action. Let's head back out to everybody's favorite, the Quad Box, as we check in on Louisville and Allen, Katy Pato and Fulshire for the first time. Fulshire, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Lake Travis and Round Rock, and then Lake Belton and Midlothian. Midlothian now taking the lead 29-23.
Yeah, we expected that to be a tight game, and it is. We haven't paid a ton of attention to that game in the bottom left, Lake Travis and Round Rock. This is a big game down there in the Austin area, too. Austin area powers going at it, District 25 versus 26. Remember, this game is at a neutral site. Round Rock had the opportunity to host. They declined it. They're playing in a neutral site here. Lake Travis, it's been a snootful of Chaston Ditta, the gentleman with the ball right there. rolling, firing. Nice little pitch and catch there as he keeps rolling. He's done a lot of damage with his feet tonight, has Lake Travis quarterback. And right now, you're also seeing this Lake Travis defense flex as well, which has been a calling card for Hank Carter's squad this year.
Yeah, this year and last year, a little bit of last year. I think the difference is the offense with Chasten Ditta has now caught up to last year. Felt like we were living in a bizarre world a year ago when Lake Travis was relying on its defense a ton. Now it's playing more like a Hank Carter Lake Travis team with Chasten Ditta and Van Hopping providing a lot of balance on offense. But when you combine that with, I feel like the past couple of years, because they've been so one-sided, either the offense has been great or the defense has been great, and, of course, with Westlake going on the run that they did, we've kind of forgotten about them as a 6A contender. And I feel like this is a year where we get to see, okay, are they back to being that premier program, that 1A, 1B with Westlake coming out of this region potentially?
Yeah, and for me, it has been Van Hopping that has made the world.
Ditta!
Oh,
Ditta!
You said Van Hopping's name. He said, I can run too,
I can
Ashley
run
Pickle.
too.
How dare you, Ashley Pickle?
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time we talk Lake Travis, obviously a quarterback factory, but when's the last time that you've seen a Lake Travis quarterback that's got wheels like that?
Baker
I mean,
Mayfield.
exactly. It's been a hot minute.
It's probably, I mean, it's still a hot minute, but it goes probably to Hudson Card.
Hudson Card.
That's still a
yeah,
ways
I
back.
would say that Hudson Card's strength was in his scrambling.
Sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he straight up takes off, but that's the guy I was trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Hopping. He has been truly incredible. And that's the thing is when you're trying to stop Chasten Ditta from doing what he just did, you forget that they can easily hand it off to Van Hopping, and then it's off to the races. This team moves the ball so quickly on the ground.
Yeah, they're kind of a real old school football team in the sense of like for Lake Travis, you think of like wide open spread. They're running game and defense this year. Like that's a lot of what they are. They can throw the ball, make no mistake. Chasten Ditta can sling it, but they're running game and defense. They hand it off to Hopping again. By the way, this is 6A Division 1 action there in Region 4. A small update in Region 1 of 6A Division 1. The Campbell Cowboys down 21-7 at half have scored 14 unanswered to open the second half, including a 70-yard touchdown pass from Edward Griffin. They call him Eddie G. To Tucker Cusano. We're knotted up at Buddy Eccles Field.
Okay, we don't talk about our alma maters on this program. Can we keep it unbiased, please?
Don't talk about them.
You know, actually,
we definitely don't have to talk
what's
about
interesting? You
alma
know
maters
what's
in this
really?
program.
Oh, there's a little
the
screen pass.
playoffs.
So it's ball's loose. Round Rock needs that. They need that.
my.
They need hope. Big play there.
They need that desperately.
Yeah, actually, you know, I believe all three of our teams made the playoffs. Actually, including our producer, Mallory Hartley, all four of those teams made the playoffs. I believe our director, V.N.A. Moreno's Lake Dallas Falcons did not.
This is true.
They were state ranked at one point.
Listen, there are some results that are just not even worth making the playoffs for. So we don't talk about certain alma maters who had
I
played
want
last
to talk
night.
about this one up here.
About Fulshire?
Yeah, it looks like Pato finally able to punch one. Is that Pato or Fulshire?
Who could possibly know?
That is Pato.
That's Pato. They got the baby
Pato
blues.
finally able to push one in there, but okay, Kadudi, we see you.
Yeah.
A high-flying offense has never been an issue for Fulshire. It's always been, can their defense get 1 to 2 stops? They want to get you into a track meet, which I think bodes very well in the early rounds of the playoffs. They tend to get got in the later rounds because it gets that much harder to keep beating people in a track.
What I love about this Fulshire team is they've got so much depth, like quality depth. So their quarterback, Ryland Forks, has been great. They blocked the extra point. Scoop it! Scoop it! Scoop!
Oh, he's still going.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
Goodness.
that was going crazy.
The other thing I was saying, Ryland Forks, their quarterback's been great. They have a running back by the name of Zane Smith. Zane Smith has run, he's over 1,000 yards on the season now. He's run 15 touchdowns. He's been terrific. He is their second leading rusher.
Yes.
Behind Patrick Broadway, who's run for 1645. Yep. And oh, by the way, they've also got another senior running back in Demarius Froh, who's run for more than 800.
Here's one. This is a young team. They have a freshman wide receiver in Mike Brown, who has almost 500 yards receiving. This is going to be a team. This is a program. Of course, Kaduti's done a great job there consistently, but we're not going to be done talking about Fulshire.
No. Fulshire's in a good spot. As you see, Allen has extended their lead. Big touchdown there to really pull away, especially the way their defense is playing.
Yes.
That feels like there's a chance that's enough.
That's a big response as we see, oh, hello.
Talk about response, Lake Belton.
Oh.
Goodness.
Needed that one after the touchdown from Midlothian.
Lake Belton striking back and grabbing the lead through a touchdown run from Davion Peters. His 4th touchdown run of the game. He's an animal, folks.
Wow.
An absolute animal. Stunned silence in the studio.
Sometimes you just got to take in the action.
Okay.
That's part of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
I feel like that's not ever been a part of Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Well, that's because you're always yapping.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say,
now I'm feeling
you just don't like
attacked.
not talking.
Now I'm feeling attacked.
Sometimes you got to kick your feet up and watch an extra point from Lake Belton.
Kick your shoes.
Yeah. We're just hanging out.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
You got it. Calm
Big
down.
extra
He
point.
got it.
Big extra point as Lake Belton reclaims the lead over Midlothian in a firefight down there at Midlothian.
Man, I'll tell you what,
ICC.
I do recognize the fact that in the bi-district round there does tend to be a handful of blowouts,
Yeah.
you know. But, man, when you strike gold with a game like that one that is neck and neck the entire time, there is nothing better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Louisville returning the next kickoff back? And they
That'll
hit
make
and
something
hit.
happen.
They hit and hit.
All right, so the game action continues. No one in the red zone right now, so we're going to go ahead and do everyone's actual favorite.
Wait, did Lake Travis just get the ball right back? Jeez, that defense.
They might have.
Jeez, that defense.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, congratulations, you forced a fumble. Here we're back.
Take it right back.
All right, but let's do everyone's actual favorite segment of this show. It would not be Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight if we did not join our very best friend, Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in the Crouton Corner. Take it away, Powers.
Welcome to the Crouton Corner, where it's the Texas High School Football Playoff Edition. It's basically a holiday for us. And tonight we're going to take a look at 3 breakout talents on the Texas High School Football Playoff scene, names that you better get familiar with now. At 5'8", 185 pounds, Landon Williams Callis is turning Richmond Randall into a powerhouse, and he's just getting started. Known for his blazing speed, quickness, and field vision, Williams Callis is a constant end zone threat. His elusiveness draws comparisons to legends like Barry Sanders, and he's already caught the eye of top programs with over 35 FBS offers, including Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Oregon. He's one of the most sought-after prospects in the country. At Frisco Panther Creek, class of 2026 wide receiver Jalen Lott is a 6-foot, 170-pounder who's among the most heavily offered prospects in the entire nation. He's got 5-star potential because this season he exploded onto the scene with 76 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. He's a multi-sport athlete and a state champion long jumper. Lott's body control and smooth route running ability highlight his upside. The Longhorns are a team to watch in his recruitment because he is the son of former Texas Longhorns Hall of Famer James Lott. But USC, Oklahoma, Oregon, and LSU are also pushing hard for his commitment. Honey Grove's Rylan Morris is a Mr. Do-It-All on the football field. He's a Baylor commit who dominates at the 2A level. At 5'9" and 165 pounds, he's a force in all 3 phases of the game. On offense, Morris is a smooth running back who glides past defenders to find the end zone. While his strong hands and crisp routes make him a reliable receiver with plenty of highlight-worthy catches, Baylor fans have a dynamic playmaker to look forward to, and with his versatility, he has a chance to really impact the 2A title scene. That wraps up our look at 3 rising stars who have a chance to really impact the state championship scene here in Texas high school football. Keep it locked here each and every week on the Crouton Corner.
Want to talk Texas high school football with your 2 favorite dorks? Join television's Greg Tepper and Ashley Gizmo Pickle every Monday and Thursday at noon on TexasFootball.com. Texas Football Today, the flagship program of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's the same analysis, insight, review, and preview that you've come to know and love. Talking about Texas high school football and college football all across the Lone Star State.
In a college football world that's increasingly nationalized, Dave Campbell's Texas Football presents the Republic of Football, the only comprehensive podcast on all 13 college teams in Texas. Live every Tuesday at noon on the Dave Campbell's YouTube page, Twitter, Facebook pages, and publishing on Apple Podcasts and Spotify shortly thereafter. Host Ishmael Johnson leads the gang in discussing the biggest college football stories from the state. You get coverage of the SEC, Big 12, ACC, AAC, CUSA, and Sunbelt, but with a little Texas twist. No one has their finger on the pulse like senior college writer MC Mike Craven, staff writer Carter Yates, and everyone's favorite Malpal producer Mallory Hartley. Come spend your lunch break, your car ride, or gym session with the Republic of Football. Live on Tuesdays at noon at TexasFootball.com and published everywhere you get your podcast shortly thereafter.
Are you ready to kick off your Wednesdays with a fresh, fun, and fearless take on football? Tune in to Women Talking Football, hosted by the dynamic duo of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, Ashley Pickle, and Mallory Hartley. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m., join us on TexasFootball.com as we deep dive into every corner of the Lone Star State's football scene. From exclusive insights with coaches' wives to on-the-ground reports from across Texas, we've got the inside scoop you won't get anywhere else. Get ready for a game-changing experience where the ladies bring their A-game and you might just find yourself saying WTF in the best way possible. Women Talking Football, where sports analysis meets sass and expertise. You can't miss it.
Want to go deep on Texas high school football? Check out Tepper and Ishmael, the premium high school football podcast from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Each week, Greg Tepper and Matt Stepp take you inside Texas high school football like nobody else, breaking down the biggest games and the biggest storylines from all across the state. Want to know more about Texas high school football than the guy at your water cooler? Go to TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber so you can get Tepper and Ishmael in your podcast feed. Or tune in every Friday at noon at TexasFootball.com for premium insights from Texas high school football experts Matt Stepp and Greg Tepper.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Ozarka will announce 7 Team of the Week winners for 14 weeks of the Texas high school football season from Class 6A down to 6-man, and including private schools. Head to TexasFootball.com, go to the Awards tab, and find Ozarka Team of the Week to see this season's winners and vote for your program to be named. Winners are announced every Wednesday on Twitter and Facebook.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Panini America are teaming up this season to honor the best high school quarterbacks across the state of Texas. 7 quarterbacks, 1 in each classification, 1A through 6A in private schools, will be named Quarterback of the Week and will receive a virtual Panini America trading card to commemorate their performance. Check out which outstanding quarterback was selected each Tuesday morning on the Dave Campbell's Twitter and Facebook pages.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
Colleyville's a tremendous place, a community that sets the standard. Ms. Avaye embodies the Panther Nation spirit. You know, she's a former student and now a current teacher, teaching kids how to persevere, work as a team, to grow, and so they'll be great leaders of our community. She's a true Panther through and through.
Welcome back into Dave Campbell's Texas football. Tonight, the party lights are popping, and you know what that means. It's time for the Power Hour here on Dave Campbell's Texas football tonight. Ashley Pickle, Ishmael Johnson for the first playoff edition party hour.
Let's go.
If you thought the Power Hour was here, we just went up to here.
Yep.
Okay?
You can tell by the lights. Every single time.
See, the party lights, party, power hour, playoffs, it's a lot of P. I'm Ashley Pickle. All right, let's go to scan this QR code, because if you're tired of listening to us, you can dive into any of these games that we're showing you tonight. By scanning that QR code, it'll take you to TexanLive.com/subscribe. Don't wait to do it, because you could get hundreds of playoff games rather than waiting until like the last week of the playoffs and then deciding that you want to do it. Get it as a Christmas present for your loved ones. Everyone loves to party here in the Power Hour. Let's check into some scores across the state as we go to my favorite classification in 3A. So we start off with 3A Division 2, Newton taking on your West Rusk Raiders.
They're hanging in there.
They're hanging in there. Toller having their way with Millsap. Troop over Anderson Shiro. How about Poth?
Oof.
That defense, stout.
That's their calling card, and they are making it known.
East Bernard, a potential regional favorite there, having no problem against Rogers. And then how about this? Tidehaven in the state championship last year, now down to Thrall, 23-14. Keep your eye on that one.
Yep, let's go over to 3A D1 as we see Columbus taking care of business against Cameron. 48-7. Columbus, of course, one of the favorites. Might be the favorite, according to a lot of people in 3A D1. There's your Llano Yellow Jackets taking care of business against Crystal City. 29.
They must have had a safety after half, because it was 27-7.
That's a good point.
When we checked in with our Llano insider.
How about Hitchcock? Okay, there's been some questions about Hitchcock because, of course, Lloyd Jones out for the year. What is this Hitchcock team in the playoffs? It's handling Little River Academy 28-3. The defense stepping up quite a bit in this one so far. Hello Hardin, 13-7 over Palestine Westwood. Of course, we talked about their situation with Coach Bishop being suspended, but the players, they're still the same players. Kavian Bryant, still one of the top players in his classification. Hardin making things very interesting. San Diego and Orange Grove locked in a big one as well. And then Paradise on Clyde, 28-12. But yeah, if you want to keep an eye on that Hardin and Palestine Westwood one, because that is a very, very tasty game so far.
Absolutely. That was a potential regional contender, a potential state contender, and Hardin having their way. You can scan that QR code at the top. Takes you to texasfootball.com/scores. Scores of every single game across the state. Speaking of games, let's dive back in. We head back out to the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight quad box as we check in on the doings there. Allen now taking what is now a lot more of a commanding lead over the Fighting Farmers of Louisville. Pato and Fulshire. You like points.
Oh my goodness.
We've got points.
Fulshire, look, we talked about them a little bit before Tepper left about that offense. And yeah, that's all. Like, all they need to do is get a couple stops for that defense, from that defense, and it is pedal to the metal as we see Lake Travis taking full command against Round Rock, 38, I believe that is, 7, and then Lake Belton trying to get back the lead. Wide open. Oh, that'll do it. Why not? As we see, a couple moves there. Midlothian and Lake Belton. Let's zoom in on this game.
You know, I know you always have a strong take on like all black uniforms, but those Midlothian ones are nice.
These are nice.
The Panthers are also black. Their logo is a blue M and then like the Black Panther.
It works. So my issue with black alternates, all black alternates, is if it's not part of your color scheme.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, if it's not done well, that goes for any uniform. But I think they're done poorly so often.
Yeah.
I think this works because the white is a very good distinction. Chase Snyder taught me the value of the distinct numbers.
Yes.
Right. And so I always keep that in mind. Now as we see,
goodness.
Hello Maverick Maddox, I believe that is going up the middle. So Chase Snyder's opinion on uniforms often depends on how easy he can read the numbers, which is understandable. But I've certainly learned to appreciate that now, and that's very distinguished. And like you mentioned, black is also technically still part of their color scheme. Yeah. So I'm okay with it. But yeah, it's usually
it's good with the white dome.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like the little clash like that, where you have the color, but you still have the black, but you still have some of your own team color in there. My issue with alternates is usually that it does not have anything to do with their color. Like if Texas tomorrow came out with black uniforms, I'd riot.
Huge run there from Pato.
Ooh, try to keep that thing going.
Want to point out a quick score that is rather interesting. We have the possibility of a reigning state champion going down in the by-district rounds of the playoffs in 2A Division I. The Timpson Bears currently are down 31-14 against Hearn. They're at the end of the third quarter, so keep your eye on that one. It's not often that we lose a reigning state champ in the first round of the playoffs, but this one, of course, without Terry Bussey, and some extra injuries.
Right up the excuse me, that is Pato up the middle, trying to get on the board, trying to close this deficit, which is not an insurmountable deficit, I should mention.
No, not anymore. Not if they keep scoring this quickly.
That's true.
Their defense, honestly, has gotten a couple of stops here in the third quarter that has really kept them in this game. Offense is moving quickly, but the defense is what's doing it for them.
Yep, as we see Maverick Maddox for Lake Belton making people miss, trying to move the pile a little bit. And I believe Louisville's driving late into Allen territory, I should say, on the top left there as they come back out for the ensuing possession. But yeah, a little bit more on I remember Timpson, they also kind of snuck in the playoffs, right? Obviously, you lose a guy like Terry Bussey, obviously. But, of course, that is a state champion roster. And so, it wasn't just him, but it was still a pretty senior-heavy team last year as well. I believe they had to beat St. Augustine to get into the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, because I think they were one of the last teams. I think they were the fourth-place team in that district. But yeah, it's not usual. It doesn't matter how they did throughout the year. It's not usual you see a reigning state champion go out in round one. As we see Round Rock trying to get something going there, a bunch of tacklers bouncing off of the running back.
Yeah, this is a really impressive showing here by Lake Travis. And I think specifically when you start talking about 6A Division I, when you take a look at the 6A Division I bracket and how it breaks out, obviously your eyes start going to a lot of different places. When you take a look at the top part of the bracket, I think that you could say a Campbell or a Prosper or an Allen, those are kind of your favorites there. Obviously Campbell and Prosper playing is still just crazy, and that's not to mention North Crowley, reigning there up at the top. Then you go down to Region 2. I think a lot of us think that Duncanville is likely the team to beat in Region 2. You get over to Region 3, there's North Shore. There's Katy, which you can never count out. But when you look at the bottom part of the bracket, I think we're going to get what we expect in Westlake and Lake Travis in a rematch in the regional final. But if I can bring some light into that, I think this might be the most evenly matched Westlake-Lake Travis rematch that we would get in a lot of years.
Yeah, because it's usually, obviously until a couple years ago, it was a completely Lake Travis dominated rivalry. Then Westlake turned the tables back on them. And this year, it was 28-16, Westlake with a win. And like you mentioned, neither are up to their top strength, right? The past couple years, right? The post-Todd Dodge, let's just say, post-Todd Dodge era. Neither are like the upper top 1-2 teams in the state like they had been. And this year, last year especially, Lake Travis was a little peg down from their usual standard. Like you, I agree. I think both sides, and I think it was more on the Lake Travis side that we're trying to find their footing again, right? Westlake, they had Tony Salazar take over, and it was just kind of they weren't a bad team. They were still very much one of the best teams in the state, but they were just a peg below the Duncanville, North Shore caliber. Lake Travis was the one that kind of fell third a little bit in the Austin rankings if you had Westlake and Vandergrift for a couple years there. And they kind of rose up to this year to be back to where their standard is. So, yeah, I agree that I think we're on a collision course because I just don't see anybody in that region really coming close to either of those teams, if I'm being honest. So. Like, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but like.
Ooh, Chapel Hill.
Oh, hello. Is that Mr. Ricky Stewart again?
I believe it was.
It might be Ricky. Look, if that is 50 to 75% Ricky Stewart, that's scary.
Yes.
Like he's able to
Mom,
do that.
come pick me up. Yeah. I'm scared.
28. I'm assuming that'll make it 28-14 now against a Hargrave team that's really good, guys. Like this is a Chapel Hill team that stumbled into the playoffs, I should say, with injury, player availability issues. Like it's just to do this out of the gate, I think they're hitting a different gear. And if I'm Jeff Reardon, I would assume that he would have given them a talk saying, like, guys, we want to avenge last year. We got to have a shot to do that. And we have not given ourselves a shot the past couple weeks. Bobble snap there. He barely gets it over.
Wow.
I believe he got it over.
Texas High just keeps doing that.
Oh,
they're
my
just doing mean
goodness.
things to Nederland at this point.
that's not fair.
But yeah, I mean, that's a Huffman Hargrave team that has beat the likes of teams like Vider and Lumberton and Splendora, Lamarck. I mean, Bridge City. They took the 3-point loss to Little Cypress Mauriceville in an absolute heater of a game, and just fell short, getting their only one loss of the season. But this, I mean, that's a Hargrave team that's no light walkthrough for an injured Chapel Hill squad.
I was about to say, that was a team that, I mean, we've seen Chapel Hill, even healthy, stumble out of the gate a little bit. So I would have said, like, that's not a game I would have guaranteed for Chapel Hill if they had Brisbane and maybe 100% Ricky Stewart. A 9-1 Hargrave team, and only lost to LCM, Little Cypress Mauriceville, I should say. Say that correctly. And yeah, potentially taking a 2-score lead and doing well defensively, I should mention too. We talked about Nolan Cook, the quarterback for Hargrave, how well he's done. Chapel Hill's defense has not been the thing that we talked about with them before.
No.
And if you hold them to 14 points, that's a feather in the cap that you can go into the rest of the playoffs with.
And, you know, defense wins championships. You can say whatever you will, but defense can carry you through the playoffs. There was some mustard on the lettuce too, by the way, if you missed that. I want to make sure to point that out for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I aim to please.
As we see Lake Belton looking to retake the lead here against Midlothian.
This is a banger.
Yeah, look, there will be some games, again, we love that you're watching. But if you would say, you know what, I'm going to watch the rest of that game.
Russell Maben and Jay they'll carry you through what is sure to be an exciting finish.
I was about to say, that is perfectly fine. Look, that's understandable. I'd rather watch that than listen to me, but, you know, hey, I'm glad you're here anyway. All right, anyway. Maddox.
Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, so I hope the people have that luxury.
As Maverick Maddox went to the end zone there, trying to find his man, but good defense from Midlothian to be stout. As we see Lake Belton taking their time, getting the play in. I'll say this, I've been very impressed with Maverick Maddox. I believe last week, 249 yards against Colleen Chaparral, who they needed that, or it was a pretty impressive win, and I think it was the first game, or one of the only games that he took over as the starter completely, because of course Mascarenas got hurt the week before. And so for him to come out in that game, look very impressive, and then come out in this game and get in a shootout in his first playoff game is a pretty impressive display so far from him. A little show of maturity.
So it looks like they're going to take a quick timeout here. Let's check into some 4A scores across the state of Texas as the by-district round of the playoffs continue into tomorrow night. But we check in on the Friday night lights happening in Class 4A Division 2. And
hello, Gilmer
man,
Center.
We're starting off with a heater right there. The reigning 4A Division 2 state champions in the Gilmer Buckeyes, only up by 6 on center. Make sure to keep your eyes on that one. Okay, Waco La Vega, we see you.
Yeah.
Don Hyde is heating up at the right time.
As
you watch out for the
56
Pirates.
Points.
Yes. Sealy up on Robinson. That one a little bit of a shocker.
Yeah.
Monahans and Perryton all tied up at 21. Silsby having no problem with Brookshire Royal, and then Rockport Fulton. Woo.
Drilling Kingsville King there. As we go to 4A D1 now. Pine Tree, okay.
Dude, I'm telling you, I like Longview Pine Tree.
I do too.
I didn't pick them to win the region, but gosh darn it, they're a fun team.
Yeah, no, they're a really fun team. I have them coming out of I think one of us has them coming out of the region.
I think Tepper did.
Tepper did. But in a little bit of a dogfight with Bridge City right now.
But Tepper doesn't exist in the power hour, so we can't,
I was about to say, we
give
can't
them
really
credit.
give them that much credit for it. I mentioned Little Cypress Mauriceville. Hello, Lindale. 21-7 over, I believe, an LCM team that's one loss on the year. They were the number. That's a 1 versus 4. So Lindale looking to pull a little bit of an upset.
Yeah.
Josh Cochran's his brother.
It's his brother.
Yeah,
Chris Cochran.
Chris Cochran. Josh Cochran's the tight ends
Whoa. Look at that. The Batlin Billies tied up with LBJ.
LBJ, number 2 team, I believe, in 4A D2.
That
D1,
would
the final rankings.
disrupt that bracket.
That would make things very,
in Region
very
4.
fascinating. Let me bring that real quick. Let me read a couple.
We'll read this, and then we'll get to 4A Division 1 or Division 1 Region 4.
Port Lavaca Calhoun 49-14 over Zapata. Corpus Christi Cal Allen taking business against El Campo, taking care of business, and then Lavernia over Tulaso Midway 35-17. But you mentioned it, 4A D1, okay, LBJ, I think pretty definitively the best team right now in 4A D1.
I think
Region 4, I should mention, from 4A D1. If they lose, I don't think there's a consensus number 1 team. You have options. I'm interested in Davenport, right? I'm interested in, is this the year, as we look at the bracket here, I'm interested in if Cal Allen holds on. Is Cal Allen, quote unquote, small B back?
Yep.
Right?
A team like El Campo, can they heat up at the right time? Port Lavaca Calhoun, too. I like the Sand Crabs this year.
That's a good point.
But you look at it and you're going, okay, if LBJ is out, Davenport and Calhoun likely going to play each other in the next round.
Yeah.
So one of them will knock each other out.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
well, at that point, if they do lose,
Bay City,
Fredericksburg in the mix because they beat LBJ.
Do we then go to potentially a Cal Allen Fredericksburg or a Bay City Fredericksburg?
Yeah.
Like regional final?
Yeah, that is a stunning result so far. Again, still tied, still a lot of things to go, but LBJ, it's one of those difficult things where they play in such a weak district
that you don't get to see them.
We don't really get to see. They're number 2 in the state, I mean, for a reason, but we really don't know their quality until they get to the postseason. LBJ, I think that's obviously a 4 versus 1. I think, let's see, Fredericksburg 4-6 heading into this one. Losses to Burnett, Tybee, Wimberley, and Lampasas. Really good teams, honestly. Davenport, like those are the only losses on the year, and they're pretty good teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
For
and then on the LBJ side, they had the win over Wimberley in week 2, 27-16.
I remember that, yeah.
And Wimberley was definitely in the early parts of their injuries.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they were completely torn down like they were against Lampasas in week 3. But man, if LBJ was to go down in this one, that would just completely ruin all of that region for all of us.
I would probably have to just slot Davenport into into my favorite in that region, but I don't feel great about it. Like I was about to say it's more of a shrug, which I think is, I mean, that becomes the most interesting region in the state, in my opinion, in any classification.
All right, back to game action we go as we take a look at just chaos happening in every corner. Welcome into Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We love chaos. We take a look.
I believe Texas High has the ball back again.
I don't want to watch this one anymore. I'm sad for the Nederland fans.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Texas High, but oof.
I see Nolan Cook back to pass for Hargrave on the top right. All day to throw.
All day in the pocket. Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness!
Holy! Look how stunned Zero is.
He thought they thought they had that. That was an easy play.
Zero was stunned that there was another of his own receivers behind him.
That was an arm punt. Like there was no gas on that throw. He just kind of threw it up there, and it just fell on the receiver. That is nuts.
Oh my god!
And
that's like our not technical play of the week.
Yeah, there's nothing technical about it. That was not the play that
was a hope and a prayer that went 85 feet into the air.
That is impressive. Oh my gosh, what awareness too. To just kind of be back there.
He's like, don't worry, bud, I had you the whole time.
Not run out of bounds either, because that could have been easily an illegal touch if he steps out of bounds.
Okay, well, in tonight's wild touchdown catch of the night, the Huffman-Hargrave Falcons take this one back down to a one-score game.
Yeah, Falcons back in it just like that. Okay, that'll do it. And as we see, Allen
Capital
B back, taking care of Louisville. There's that defense you mentioned, a 17-3, a very business-like Allen victory. And again, I think, obviously this shows the talent of that defense, because I think this is a Louisville team that came from a really, really tough district. And so I don't want people to think that this was just a normal Allen drubbing against a bad team first round.
Right.
But I think that it shows exactly the type of team Allen is, which is a team that's going to grind you up, right? They're going to sit on you. They're going to score just enough, and then they're going to absolutely say, score on this defense because we know you can.
Yeah, so as they advance to the area round, they will be playing the winner of Haltom and Richardson.
Yeah.
That game currently in the fourth quarter, Richardson up 28-19. So looking like they'll be taking on Richardson as they continue to move down into that one. Checking in on another game in Region 1 real fast. Let's go up to the top portion of the bracket. Campbell now up 35-21 over Prosper. After being down by 21 points, whatever Antonio Wiley said at halftime, he snapped the Cowboys back into place.
I was about to say it's probably not appropriate for air.
I would assume not, but if it works,
Whatever,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
As we see Huffman Hargrave trying an onside kick or a little bit of a pooch kick, and credit to Chapel Hill. Took a big hit on that return, and they were able to hold on to it. Crosby and College Station there on the bottom left. College Station taking care of business there at home.
All right, so as all these games try to get back into game action here, all about midfield, so we're going to take a quick break. The last 30 minutes of the Power Hour are going to be ones that you don't want to miss. Intense high school football playoffs, win or go home games. Grab your popcorn, take a quick bathroom break, and meet us right back here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
A community leader is somebody that inspires others to do the right thing. A community leader is somebody that inspires you to be better within the community. Duke truly is a treasure for Melissa. He is the most important person in Melissa in that regard. Whatever the case may be, we want to be great. We want to be the best. And Duke is somebody that sparks that. He is one person that exemplifies what love is, and it just spreads throughout the community.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with one student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit TexasFootball.com/mostdriventeam.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wings drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
If you don't love each other, you're not going to pull for each other. That's what makes this community so great. Everybody's pulling for each other, and the love that everybody has for each other, that's what makes this place so special. And that's what makes the people here in Brock the amazing group that they are. Principal Hudson is one of the guys that the entire school district looks up to. He's in and out of every classroom. The teachers absolutely love working for him. If you have a question or anything that you need, he listens. And for us as a community, we love him. But the greatest thing about him, it's the love for Brock. It's the love for the school. It's the love for the kids here. He's a Brock Eagle through and through. If you want to talk about bleeding blue and gold, he bleeds blue and gold.
Power Hour here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. The playoffs are upon us. It's the best time of the year, and there is no time to waste as we take you into some highlights across the state. We start off in the Houston area. We checked in on the first half. Let's go to the second half. Katy taking on A-Leaf Elsick. We start here in the third quarter, and it is Katy with the ball. They're going to hand it off to Aquilish. Jordan has no problem making his way through that Elsick defense. Katy, again, this is going to be a trend here. Keep up. Gunnar Nelson throwing the ball. Katy threw the ball for a touchdown.
It wasn't play action.
Oh, my goodness. Elsick, though, Caden Mendenhall, he says, I'm going to throw it, but it's going to go back to a Katy receiver or a defensive back. It's hard to tell the difference with how talented that Tiger squad is. Then Katy again. Remember that guy, Aquilish Jordan? Yep, he just keeps doing that right up the middle. Like, he doesn't care if there's a sea of Elsick defenders. It really doesn't matter. And it's funny because he's not the only guy that can do it. So can running back Tony Manuel. Because look at this. They don't shy away from getting hit.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Clear Falls and Summer Creek. This is going to be Summer Creek with the ball. We've talked a lot about this Bulldog squad this year. Blake Thomas, another guy we've talked a lot about. He's going to drop back to pass and rifle a bullet over the middle to Holden Miller as they extend their lead all Summer Creek. And this one staying in the third quarter. Handoff to Eugene Burnett, finding nothing but green as he runs into the end zone. Stomping from the Bulldogs, an impressive showing. And Keyshawn Jackson is going to punch it in and add a bigger exclamation point. 56 right now, Summer Creek.
Klein Oak and Bridgeland, Maximum Bears, more like Maximum Klein Oak. Look at that catch. Martin Arasso, he rolls out, and that was Justin Hart on the big catch. After that, they were able to capitalize on it. Cortland Guillory punching it in for a well-deserved score there for Klein Oak in the go-ahead touchdown. Then Klein Oak gets a stop, and Micah Rhodes showing that Oak can run it up the middle. Brought down inside the 30. Klein Oak would go on to miss a field goal. This now with Bridgeland. Jet Lewis off to the races. Got down at the 1. They're not going to give it to him on the roll of cool. But don't worry, on the very next play, Alex Spence Myers right across the goal line to put Bridgeland back on top. Bridgeland got a stop after that. Jet Lewis back in the pocket, lets it absolutely fly, and it's picked off. Cortland Guillory now has 2 touchdowns and an interception. Klein Oak down to the final play on 4th down. The screen pass dropped by Luke Trevino. Bridgeland will go on to win that one.
Wow.
And gets the dub. We shifted into Maximum Bears.
Yep.
What a fight put up by Klein Oak on that one,
man,
though.
that is a tough loss. But, yeah, that is an impressive showing because this Bridgeland team's been cooking, and they got punched in the face. And, again, it's all about how you respond after that. And, luckily, they were able to have some counters of their own.
24-17, the final there for Bridgeland and Klein Oak as we get back into game action here in the quad box.
Hello, Chapel Hill, back to a 2-score lead. Yeah, look, this is exactly what I've been hoping to see from Chapel Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even with the injuries and all that, this is still a team that played for a state championship last year. We know Jeff Reardon, big fan of his. We know this team is talented. And they just have not been, again, a lot of it's not things that have happened on the field. It's been injuries and things like that. But still, you're expecting a little bit more as Nolan Cook lets it fly here. Oh, my goodness.
What in the world?
That's just nasty.
He has
That's
the
nasty.
highest arch in a pass. I mean, it was like that thing hit the
like
downstream and plummeted.
It's like a missile just going up to the atmosphere. And then
that is insane.
And then that catch, too, just absolutely over the defender.
That one, I think I short-circuited on that. That one blew my mind.
That one's crazy. I want to give a shout out. Let me see if I can pull the roster up real quick for Huffman Hargrave. But this team's not going away. Yeah, the arc is insane. That's like the second or third throw we've seen that's just like gone out of the frame.
Lord.
Let me see. That was Will Swartz, the tight end, 6'5", 250, looking like a big tight end in the end zone. And all of a sudden,
oh, look at the ball kid.
Oh, that's his dream
absolutely.
Right there. I think it's a JV. It might be not JV.
That's hustle all over the field here.
Yeah, he had a jersey on, so I'm assuming that's a middle schooler, probably dreaming of playing for the varsity team in a couple of years.
Another big finish in the 5A ranks. A&M consolidated 62, Friendswood 20.
Hello, Carde Mac. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, my goodness. Hello,
so easy.
Atascocita.
Hey,
Carde
how about
Mac.
Dickinson, though? I mean, right before that, though, a 44-32 game is nothing to shake your head at.
Yeah, no, they are definitely, it looks like that might be coming back. It might be coming back, yeah. So, okay, it's still 44-32. Still only a small 2-score lead for Atascocita. Yeah, it looks like a hold on Atascocita will bring this one back. So Dickinson's still very much in this one.
Carde's not going to be happy about that one.
No, I was
Neither
like, guys,
is
I had a highlight ankle break.
Yeah, neither is Blaylock, who gave one of a sad shoulder shrug when he saw the flag come out. A couple more score updates for you here. This one just going final now out of 4A Division II. The reigning state champs will continue to make their way into the area round as Gilmer does in fact end up beating Center 20-14. So final on that one. This one, my friend, is going to hurt your heart.
Oh no.
Congratulations to the Bulldogs of LaPorte as they take down
Oh no, Austin Anderson?
Austin Anderson.
Oh,
Our
Ed
boy Ed Small.
No.
No longer playing in the Texas high school football playoffs. A sad doing there, but congratulations to the Bulldogs of LaPorte. They will advance to the area round after taking down Anderson 42-21. Speaking of another reigning state champ, the Anna Coyotes will be advancing to the area round in 5A Division II. You remember they moved up this year, 45-10 over Colleyville Heritage, making it look easy, a classification higher than their championship last year in 4A Division I.
Okay. Anna, of course, was a team that kind of, I don't want to say snuck into the playoffs because that district was just kind of topsy-turvy. But there was a point this year where we looked at it and we're like, could they miss the playoffs?
Yeah.
Obviously, they ended up getting in.
What's
and obviously,
happening here?
Yeah. But Melissa ended up being the odd man team out. As you see a big drop there.
Nice.
Should be
We're playing basketball.
Yeah, I know, right? Melissa ended up being the odd man team out in that tough district. But looking at that region really quick, just a quick glance, we don't have to spend too much time on it. They're going to be they have Lovejoy as that team lurking, right, in that side of the bracket. Argyle's kind of on the other side. Walnut Grove.
Name one time that Todd Dodge has done good things with a team in the playoffs, you know?
Yeah, never. You can't. Name 6. Name one 20 years ago. But still, like Anna, even though they moved up classifications, you mentioned it, reigning state champ in 4A, outside of Lovejoy on that side, still very much up for grabs in this region, right? Obviously, they have to theoretically beat Lovejoy if that comes down to that. But that's not out of the realm. It's still the first year under Todd Dodge, right?
Absolutely.
It's not the full juggernaut that we're used to seeing from a Todd Dodge.
They got the better side of the bracket there, or the better side of the region, because when 5A Division II region, we'll take a quick look at this final.
Midlothian, holding on.
Able to knock out Lake Belton. What a game that was.
Yeah, again, Lake Belton had a lot of adversity this year, of course, with losing their quarterback, Eli Mascarenas, but credit to Midlothian for... This is a team that had a lot of playmakers. We talked about Davion Peters having a really, really big game. A Midlothian team, 9-2, just finishing behind Highland Park, I believe, in that district. I think a team that we didn't talk enough about as one of the better teams in the DFW area. I guess DFW area, right?
Yeah, greater.
Okay. Yeah, greater. There's a greater. Extended.
Going back real fast to 5A Division II, specifically looking at Region 1, that bottom part of Region 1 is nasty.
It's tough.
Argyle and Frisco Emerson. Actually, that's happening tonight. I want to get a look here.
I believe that was close-ish the last time I saw that.
Argyle has taken a steady lead here, 38-21. So you remember last year, Frisco Emerson in their first year was able to make it all the way to a state semifinal.
Yeah.
Now getting thrust in this treacherous Region 1. But when you take a look at that, you've got Argyle likely moving on. You've got Wichita Falls Memorial, which has been a shockingly good team. Walnut Grove.
Speaking of teams in their first year, Walnut Grove really, they also came from, they were the team I say that we didn't expect from that district. Right, we would have probably had Melissa over Walnut Grove in that playoff standings, and it's been Walnut Grove has had a really, really impressive game, or season, I should say.
And then you've got Lubbock Cooper, who went and beat Lovejoy in week 1 of the season. Now, I think that Lovejoy has figured out a way to get it together, and I don't know if necessarily that would end up in the same result if they were to meet in the regional final. But it is wild, wild times in Region 1 of 5A Division II.
Yeah, there's definitely no, as we see, I think that was a final. Oh, yeah, that's right. Lubbock Cooper won yesterday over Canutillo. A good Canutillo team. So, again, that was a impressive win from them. as we see Dickinson and Atascocita, trying to extend their lead. I believe punting the ball actually now.
Some more scores coming in here as we finalize quite a bit of games here in the bi-district round. We've got Flower Bluff beating McAllen Memorial 35-10. Crowley with a massive win over Justin Northwest, 51-14.
Oh my goodness.
This Crowley team has been so snip, snap, but let me tell you, when they can turn it on, they can beat darn near anybody.
It's been, you mentioned it, they've had some baffling losses. I'm thinking of the Skyline game, right? I believe it was
They got shut out against Skyline.
And of course, we talk so much about North Crowley, and so you forget that there's another school in the district that's also pretty good. And when you see the gulf between North Crowley and Crowley, you kind of lose track of like, oh, Crowley, it's fine. This is, like you mentioned, this is still a pretty good team that you mentioned.
They'll sneak up on you.
They'll sneak up on you. They're sneaking up on us because, again, we kind of forget about them. I think after the Skyline game, I personally was like, I guess I really don't have to pay attention to them this year. But they're still a winning team, 6-4, I believe, finished second in that district, right behind, of course, North Crowley, who I have coming out of Region 1 and 6A D1. So, yeah, I mean, that's an impressive win and showcase that I wasn't sure that they had in them. Like, based on the Crowley team that I'd seen this year, I would not have pegged them as a team that blows out Justin Northwest in the first round.
No, I would not. Continuing our streak of mentioning alma maters tonight, as I believe, did Chapel Hill punch that in?
Trying to.
They're almost there.
Yeah, they're not celebrating like they did. So.
But let's check in with this game down here in the bottom right-hand corner as J.J. Pierce is looking to score against the Arlington Colts. And I believe, I'm going to put on my director's hat here. Chance, our incredible TD, if we could dial up that producer's cam, I would love to go inside the control room here at the incredible University of North Texas Studios as our very own executive producer of this show, Miss Mallory Hartley. It looks like there's a cheer that needs to be done for your Colts. Can we get a KICK-EM for us? There she is, former head cheer captain of Arlington, class of 2017, Miss Mallory Hartley, watching her Colts not doing what she wants them to do. But with an incredible cheer like that, how can they not? How are we feeling about your Colts, Mallory? What do they need to do to get back in this game? Score some points.
Yeah.
That expert football analysis brought to you by our producer, Mallory Hartley. A big shout out to our director that was also in camera there, VNA Moreno, taking over the reins for the first time in the director's chair tonight.
Speaking of teams who are not in the playoffs, hi VNA. Sorry about your Dallas Falcons.
VNA cannot give us a go Falcons because the Falcons are in fact not going.
Yeah, they're not.
They are going to basketball season.
They're staying.
They are going to blow up basketballs. We're having fun here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. We hope that you are as well. We've got another round of Texas football tonight coming up next week in the area round as the games just continue to get more and more exciting.
Looks like Chapel Hill kicks a field goal there.
Including this one. Points are points at this point.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points in one sentence.
Back to a 2-score lead. That's real. I just caught that. Back to a 2-score lead for Chapel Hill now. As Hargrave, we're going to need a couple more moonshots from Nolan Cook to get back into this one.
To the moon!
Pato. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, good Lord.
Okay, Fulcher, I said the defense needs one set. Maybe you need like 3 or 4 because it's actually, 60. I thought that still said 56. That's a 66 now. Oh, okay, maybe they don't need to stop.
113 total points.
That's crazy.
Dude, if you don't know Coach Caduti, he is absolutely thriving right now.
Oh,
he wants 113 total points.
All his 2% body fat muscles are just all veined up in his arm. He's just going crazy.
We love points.
Yeah. He's just like going Super Saiyan in the corner, just like he's charging up with every yard
We've
gain.
got a potential 70 burger happening. This
Yeah.
might be the end of the game.
In a
but-
competitive game. Like, this isn't like just a team blowing one team out. This is like, they got to put up these points, so they might have to go 70.
Goodness gracious, go route. That's exactly what Coach Cadudi's saying, too. Go route.
That's the play they're running. Go. Go
All
route.
right, we've got our friends at Go Route would love that as we take a look at this lovely commercial presented by them. Let's head over to some scores across the state. Let's check in on Class 5A. We've been talking about a lot of score results happening there. We start off in 5A Division 2. Nice wipe sound.
There you go.
As we mentioned, Argyle looking like that one's fixing to be final. Corpus Christi Miller having no problem with Tivy. Lovejoy, they're doing things. How about Abilene Wiley over El Paso Andres?
Andres, I believe, is one distinguished producer said on the playoff reveal show.
Oh, the Stingerees are getting absolutely Brenhamed right now. Brenham, a very good team this year. Keep an eye on Coach Izar's squad.
Hello, Arlington Seguin. This is a team that I saw. We talked about Walnut Grove, their impressive sneak into the playoffs there. I saw this Arlington Seguin team, and this score does not shock me. I'll be surprised if Seguin won,
Yes.
but like this competitive score does not shock me. Looks like that one is final, actually, I should mention. That one is final. So Seguin has playmakers, right? Walnut Grove, I believe, is the top 10 team. I believe they snuck their way to the playoffs, the top 10 rankings before the season ended. But Arlington Seguin has playmakers. It was their line I was a little concerned about, but if you look at their wide receiver and their secondary play in particular, they have guys to make plays. So that score, although Walnut Grove escaped, does not shock me. Arlington Seguin's going to be a team.
And they'll finish the season at 7-4. This is the first time they've had a winning season in years.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
In years.
Yeah.
So an historic season there for the Cougars of Arlington Seguin. Do not let this by-district round tell you otherwise. Congratulations to their head coach, Joe Gordon, and what they've been able to do with that program. Scan that QR code at the top. It'll take you to texasfootball.com/scores as we matriculate on to 5A Division 1. Angleton is over Pflugerville. Weiss. Holy cow, that's that district that we were telling you that it mattered so much how the seeding ended up working out, because the loser was going to have to go on the road to a very difficult Angleton squad, and that's exactly what it was.
I believe Weiss was up 28-21, I believe. And I think they are, I believe, Angleton might be holding onto the ball and driving to hold on to this game. So
that is why playoff seeding matters right there. We mentioned it, LaPorte over Austin Anderson. That one's a final. Red Oak having their way with Cedar Park. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a big score.
That's a big result for
I
them.
thought that was going to be a maximum one-score game between the two of them.
Yeah.
So the Hawks turned it on tonight. That is impressive stuff. Amarillo, no problem with El Paso, El Dorado. San Antonio Piper is just mauling people, and then Flower Bluff, we mentioned that one being final as well. We're going to round it all out here with 6A. The big dogs,
There
Coppell.
it is. Coppell, I believe that is final. I believe they held on somehow.
Euless Trinity up on Mansfield, real big. Rockwall taking it to the Mustangs of Saxe. How about that score,
Wait a
Brennan?
minute. Hold on. Quick update. Prosper, this was the update from Greg Riddle from the DMN 2 minutes ago. Prosper at the Coppell 8 with 8 seconds left. Now, they were down by 8, right? So they need a touchdown and 2-point conversion. So we'll see. We'll see. That was the last update. So I don't know if they converted that or whatever, but that is basically going to come down to one or two plays. So
we'll keep our eye on there. And then a big result down in the greater 210 area. Brennan with a dominating win over San Antonio Reagan. That's impressive from the Bears squad.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, besides Steele, who that other team from the San Antonio area is going to be that's going to push their way to the forefront. Waxahachie 44 over Waco Midway. Waco Midway, of course, under new head coach Joe Gillespie, formerly of TCU defensive coordinator. Los Fresnos over Edinburgh Econ. I'm not going to pronounce the whole thing because I'm going to do it incorrectly, and I know people say Econ down there in the valley, so I'm with y'all. Los Fresnos all over them. Right?
All right, we have a tweet coming out from our very own Greg Tepper of I want you to put the word out that we're back up.
Okay,
so
that
I
is a
do
dub,
believe that the Coppell Cowboys held off in a miraculous second half comeback, was able to hold off Prosper on literally the final 1-2 plays of that game in an absolute banger of a bi-district matchup. That's unfair to have that game in the bi-district round.
Yep, and look, this is a Campbell team that we were worried about the dreaded 10-1, right? When we saw them draw Prosper, we're like, oh, is that going to be the 10-1? No, we'll see. I think if they got past this first round, that's what I was really worried about, was that they just come out, lay an egg, and then it's done. Now Campbell, gets to show that they are one of the best teams in the state. We'll see how far they can go.
Look at this one coming in. Cy Ranch up by 10 on a Klein Kane squad, looking to add more to it. Oh,
running
Nelly.
through everybody. I think he's going to go. He's going to go the whole way. All right. Well, just like that 3-score lead.
How about that score? Klein Kane, a team that we thought could make a lot of noise in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's impressive. As we see, has Chapel Hill been on the goal line for 10 hours?
Yeah, that seems about right. Well, if they're not on that, then the Moonballs are going the other way for Puffman. That's insane.
That's a good point. And it looks like that Cy Ranch play is coming back. It looks like that was a hold somewhere. Yep, holding on Cy Ranch, so that impressive touchdown run's going to be coming back. Pato and Fulcher are still throwing haymakers, so I don't know. That's like two crazy kids fighting in the pool, and you're just like, just let them over there. I'm not going over there. There's too much chaos over there, and you can't swim that well, so you're like, I don't want to get accidentally.
I can't go anywhere waist down.
They're
I'm not coming back up.
They're fighting in the 12 feet area. I was like, I'm good.
Back up. Okay, wow. Big result here. Hang with me here.
Saw that, yeah.
Final, Saginaw 41, Azle 39. A Saginaw stunner. The Rough Riders scored 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes to win their first playoff game in program history.
Really? That's impressive.
Wow.
That is awesome. And that's a good Azle team, too. I believe that's a 1 or 2 loss Azle team, too. That's a 1 or 2 loss Azle team, too. So
they're really good.
Awesome.
The only teams that they lost to, I think they did, Denton Ryan and Llano?
It was something like that. It's been a really good Azle program this year. So that is an awesome Saginaw win for Saginaw.
They lost to Llano, Richland, and Ryan. So the top 3 teams in that district.
Those are ranked teams.
I was like, those are all incredible teams. Yo!
That's awesome for them.
Saginaw!
Yeah, that's impressive. By the way, to harp a little bit more on this potential Cy Ranch Klein Kane result. Klein Kane, the number 25 team in Class 6A, we mentioned it, would be a massive win for, let me see, they're in Region 2, which of course, I mean, you look at Duncanville, right? That's kind of the big bad team there. But all of a sudden, okay, who's Duncanville going to face has kind of been the question. Is it the Woodlands? I thought it was going to be Klein Kane or the Woodlands, but now is it going to be Cy Ranch as another?
Oh my goodness.
Hello. Okay, well, if you're going to call back 1 touchdown, we're just going to score another one.
Was that a quarterback keeper?
That was a quarterback, yeah.
Goodness, he's got wheels.
Big play, and it's coming back. Oh, there's another hold. Oh, it was more mustard on the yellow lettuce.
Mustard on the yellow.
Just do it again.
As a wise man once said, there's some mustard on the yellow.
There's some yellow on that field. Let's see. Just do it the 3rd time, right? If they're going to call it back for holding, like they are right there, just do it one more time. By the way, I believe that was Owen Cassette, backup quarterback for Cy Ranch. I'm sorry, backup quarterback and that was who took over midway through the year, I should mention.
I want to go ahead and shout out some of our people in the comments. TJ Hudson, Frankie 2122, Ricky Starnes, thank y'all for joining us. If you're new to this show and you're complaining about us diving into certain games, let me tell you, TexanLive.com/subscribe.
Dive into whatever games you want.
You can dive into whatever games that you want. Watch them in full. This show is meant to bounce around and be fun and enjoy Texas high school football in its entirety. So if you don't like what we're showing, that is your solution right there. Scan that QR code, go to TexanLive.com, pick whatever games you want, cycle around, pretend like you're flipping through the remote. We have it all, whatever you want here on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
Consider us the little sampling platter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just handing you. Yeah, you got a little.
If you want the Fontana platter, go scan that.
You got a little bit of tacos over there. You want some Southwest egg rolls over there. You want some nachos over there. We got a little bit of everything for you.
So there we go. All right. as we will start to round things out here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. We take one last look here at a couple of games across the state. Fulshire and Peyto still in that just wild shootout. Looks like that one's wrapping up. Chapel Hill and Huffman-Hargrave. Man, this is an insane game.
Yeah, Chapel Hill trying to hold on to this one. I guess Nolan Cook had a couple more moonshots in him. See if he can get one more if the defense can get a stop here. As we see Dickinson trying to make things happen, only down 12 to Atascocita. If you're Craig Stump, this defensive performance is not what you want to see from your Eagles if this is going to be the year that they punch through to Arlington. I believe also a quick final score, Lancaster over Harker Heights 40-35. Lancaster's first ever 6A playoff win as a 6A program. I believe they're also losing that game at halftime, so I was keeping my eye on Harker Heights potentially pulling the upset there. As we see Ricky Stewart reversing field, trying to do something. Oh my gosh, Ricky Stewart! He's trying to do something here. I would just go down and see if he can get some clock. But
if you're Jeff Reardon right there, you're
Yeah.
going, son, you've been injured. Please, for the love of all things good, go down.
That was impressive from Ricky Stewart. Who that ball was on the left. That was on the near side, I should mention. And he extended that somehow to cross the field and get across the 20 to try and ice this for Chapel Hill.
We'll see if they can punch this one in. At that point, I think that you can all but assuredly count this one as church.
Of course, looks like a rifle rest for Ricky Stewart there. Oh, did they fumble?
Oh, well, let's go ahead and head out to the announcer audio on this one.
Kasdan Holton just fighting for extra yardage, loses the football. And just like that, Huffman-Hargrave now with the lead, with the momentum. 9:37 remaining and with the ball and a chance to take the lead. So the quick change of possession, and the Falcons now have a little bit of momentum. Hand off to Jamison. Pushes forward for a gain of about 5 on the play. Again, the Falcons just need a field goal to take the lead up, down 2, 37-35. 9:15 remaining here in the ballgame. And that's going to be a false start on Huffman-Hargrave. Chapel Hill showed blitz, backed off on the last minute as they were trying to change the play call. And I think one of the line judge on the Huffman-Hargrave side is coming in to try to say if maybe one of the Chapel Hill players had caused him to move off sides. This is going to be interesting. And they're going to say that it was offsides on Chapel Hill instead of a false start. So it's going to be 1st and 10 now. For Huffman-Hargrave. After they changed the false start to an offside. Felder in motion. And that time it's a false start. As the right guard, Heath Montez, just moved too early. Going to bring him back. So it'll be 1st and 15. So the clock will roll. 1st and 15 for Huffman Hargrave. Elder in motion. Looking to throw. 1-on-1. And that's a jump ball, and that's going to be caught by Swartz. There is a penalty flag. And it's going to be pass interference against Chapel Hill. That penalty will be declined, and so Huffman Hargrave will have the ball at the 50-yard line. First and 10, Huffman Hargrave. Felder in motion again. Handoff Jamison. Finding a crease, reversing field across the 40-yard line to the 30. Jamison into the 20-yard line and pushed out of bounds at the 12. Ball's out of bounds, so 8:13 left in the fourth quarter. And Huffman Hargrave knocking on the door. Now it's 2 running backs in. It's going to be Jamison with the carry. That time gains about 2 on the play as Braylon Allen comes in across the far side and able to make the tackle along with Trevor Brooks. So it's 2nd and 8. Cook, quarterback keeper. Outside, still on his feet. Spins off a tackle. And it's now 3rd and 2. They have to get to the 1-yard line to get the first down. They obviously are looking to score here and retake the lead. 7-10 and counting here in the ballgame. It's Cook again, looking at the offensive coaching staff, getting the play call. Jamison's going to move over to his right. Quick sprint out. Near side. Not there. Bring up 4th down. 4th and inches. And we'll see what they decide to do here because the field goal will take the lead. As it's 4th down, but I'm sure that they think they can get a yard here. I'm sure this Huffman Hargrave team is confident in their ability to get 1 yard on the play. As it's 4th and 1. Jamison, I don't know if he got it. The ball came out, and it's going to be Chapel Hill ball. The Chapel Hill defense comes in, and that forces the fumble, and it's Chapel Hill ball. What a defensive stop from Chapel Hill.
That's crazy. Okay.
5:55.
That's bad play calling right there. Wow.
All right, with 5:55 left in that game, Chapel Hill decides to try and go for it on 4th and goal rather than kicking the field goal.
Yeah.
An interesting call with that amount of time left, now giving Huffman all the confidence in the world to go back down and drive that ball.
Excuse me, Chapel Hill, you mean?
Chapel Hill, yes.
Yeah. But still, now I guess the gamble was you're gambling on your defense, coming up with a stop, holding within the 5. But still, that gives them a lot of field to potentially, like you mentioned, drain the clock. Like, that's, of course, you have to drive the ball, but that gives them 90-plus yards to work with and really whittle that clock down, which, of course, as they see with Ricky Stewart, who, again, depending on his 70%, 80%, whatever, he's been good enough. If they can just have him waste all that clock, that decision's going to be very interesting to look back on.
All right, well, that's going to do it here for us on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. If you want to continue watching these games, go to TexanLive.com/subscribe. On over, you can watch the game in its entirety and see how that one shakes out. A fun by-district matchup, or whole round, I should say.
Yeah, I was about to say
a lot of
weekend.
matchups. By-district weekend. We'll be back on Texas Football today on noon to recap everywhere. New brackets coming out on TexasFootball.com/playoffs. It is your playoff hub and the place to be.
Yes, brackets, predictions. If you want to yell at us for our bad predictions, because probably some are going to be wrong after this weekend already. You want any game times. Matt Stepp is up to date on where a game is being played, when, what day, what time, neutral site, whatever. He has you updated. TexasFootball.com/playoffs.
It's your home for the 2024 Texas High School Football Playoffs. All right, for Ishmael Johnson, Mallory Hartley, our director, Vianney Moreno, and all of the students here at the University of North Texas, we appreciate you joining us on this by-district round of Texas Football Tonight, and we'll see you again next Friday at 7:30 p.m. Have a good one, folks.